Okay, Deagle. So today's episode is about editing. As we both know, me and Crimp, you are a very good editor, if I must say so myself. You know, you've got a knack for it, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fucking hope so. Like,
I mean, you've been doing it a while now, so
I went to fucking uni for it, mate.
yeah. I mean, that makes
I'm in
sense.
debt for it, so yeah, it's not good. It's not looking good. Still,
I mean, listen, we're all good at something, right? And that's just your forte, you know.
yeah, that's just my thing.
So-
it's just it's my quirk.
A bit quirky like that, right? Well, we'll start with the first question.
Yeah.
How long have you been editing for?
Too fucking long. But actually, when I started editing, was when I was 12. Back when Battlefield 3 came out. So I think it was 2011. Battlefield 3 came out. I had a PS3, and I shit you not, I still have the same 45-inch TV. What I do is I stack my PS3 games, my PS2 games, and my PSP games all in a tower. Stick a camera on top of it, record my gameplay of me playing Battlefield 3, and then edit it on Windows Live Movie Maker. I'm not even joking. That's literally how I made my first YouTube videos back
Good
in the day.
lord, that is.
Yeah.
But that's just the beginning, though. Like that's like whenever you're just starting off, that's how you just find ways to make it work, right? Like you don't have the.
Nah, my mum was so against, like, and my sisters are also against me playing games online, let alone uploading myself, even though I'm not in the camera, like myself into on YouTube, I should say. So it's like that was like real humble beginnings, but like I'd say the first time I properly like used an editing software that wasn't Movie Maker was around 2016, 2015 actually. Old shitty Toshiba laptop. The video was me scoring a halfway line goal with Ronaldinho in FIFA 15, and all I did was I put the video into After Effects, got the green screen intervention quickscope, and then put a chroma key on it, and uploaded it to YouTube, and I think it got like 20 views, and I was super gassed. And then after that, kind of just. Oh no, then I uploaded that one YouTube video that you've seen when I was 16, and then from there I went to uni and then learned how to properly edit there.
So you think that was like the start of when you was getting into editing? Like that was. That was how you got into
that was
it.
like that. I mean, everything else I'd done before was just me, like, obviously showing signs to myself that this is something I like doing. But properly learning how to edit, I'd say like start of secondary, like not start of secondary school, start of sixth form, then going into uni. So almost like it's like what? How many years has it been? Like 5 years, 6 years? I've been editing now.
Right,
kind of.
okay. But was that like them videos you made like on your laptop and stuff? Was that sort of the start of like was you always planning on going to uni to like do editing or like
Nah, you know
graphics?
what? When I did that Battlefield video, I kind of just done that because I watched YouTube and I thought it was cool. Like genuinely, when I mean I've watched YouTube my like entire like most of my life. I'm not even joking. Like we know when you bought an iPad and it would have the YouTube app pre-installed. That's how long I've been watching YouTube, bruv. Like a long fucking time. But like when I properly knew I wanted to go off and do something a bit more creative was when I did A-level physics and I said, "Fuck this shit. This is boring." And that's when I was like, oh yeah, let me go do media because I've obviously been editing and shit for a long time before that. I might as well just go off and study something I want to, or something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't knock someone for chasing something they want to do for.
Yeah.
So you say you've been doing it for about 5 years now. You say editing.
Yeah, roughly 5 years.
Right. Okay. So
5
it's
years,
quite
yeah.
a long time to be fair. Do you feel like you taking it like more seriously like in the last like couple of years, or was that just the initial start? Like you're saying 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I would say properly editing on a consistent basis, like every week, past 5 years. But like I said, I've been editing those videos when I was a kid, ages ago. So I'd say that was like the start. Those like beginnings, like when I was 11 and stuff. But properly, consistently editing with a purpose and intention, the last 5 years. Like either it be for uni coursework or for a YouTube video or something like that, or like for clients, like the last 2 years because I was freelancing.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, you pretty much answered that straight away. So the second question is, how important do you think editing is in trying to make a career in content creation?
I'll be real. I'll keep it 100% real. And obviously, I want to say this before I answer any other questions. Like, it's all my opinion. So, take it however you will. If you get offended,
Flame him, please.
I don't give a shit. Go to my Twitter and cry about it there, and then I will ignore your messages. But I think editing is like the way I would describe it is like look at it like you're building a house. I would describe it as the cement when you put in between the bricks, right? It's not like the end or be all, right? But if you don't have it there, everything kind of falls apart. It's the glue that kind of holds everything together. So it is important, but do you need to know how to make stupidly over cinematic intros like I do? Like I'll be real, the intros that I do are fucking overkill. They take me multiple hours to do. I literally, that last intro I did for my video, it took me like an hour to render, like a 2-minute thing. Did I need to do that? Absolutely not. Would it have been fine without it? Probably, but it's something I wanted to do. So you don't need to go to that level, but the fundamentals, I feel like any content creator should have a grasp of and understand how to make a video, understand pacing, understand when to cut, and depending on the style of content they want to do, how they can best make a video for their niche, if you know what I mean. But like, ultimately, is what I want to say, you can't polish a turd. If your content itself is shit, no amount of good editing is gonna save that video or TikTok or whatever the fuck, bro. Like, if the foundation of the house is weak and or whatever, the house is gonna crumble no matter how good the cement is, right? You need to know you need to understand how to make good content, and editing needs to be a tool that you use to kind of make that content, if you understand what I'm saying. Editing is just one of the tools that you use to create content.
One of the tools in the workbox. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, you do make a good point about that though. Like with certain videos, they're basically, you can't make something out of nothing, basically. But on the flip side of that, sometimes you can make content that's like very like mid or like not great and turn it good. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like certain like small videos like TikToks or something, like just making a cut or adding a meme in, or like whatever you add to it, like you can make it more engaging because it's not just the original clip just playing out from start to finish. You know what I mean?
You can, but the problem with that is it's not sustainable. You can do that for one TikTok, maybe 10, but you can't build off of that. You know what I'm saying? It will always be just that mid content with good editing on top of it. So like every once in a while, because bro, making consistently good content, especially with how content has evolved over the years, it used to be good polished videos coming out every so often, like every week. Remember like old school YouTube days, they'd be like, oh, my YouTube video is dropping at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, and you'd wait for that YouTuber to upload on a 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Now it's daily uploads, right?
Yeah.
So like it all kind of varies, but you're right, you can defo. But I've done it. I'll put my hands up, I've done it. I've had like the most dog shit thing, and I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna slap a fucking meme, a green screen thing, and it'll be fine. And it was, but it's not sustainable, and it's not something you should get into the habit of doing. I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, you are probably right about that, about the like slapping something on, because eventually you're gonna run out of memes. Eventually you're gonna run out of like the same like recycled content, regardless of what that is. But content has definitely evolved over the like last, I don't even know, like 10 years maybe. Like if you look back at some of the YouTube videos that blew up back in the day, like especially gaming ones as well, they were just all like Call of Duty montages, like sniping, and all it was just someone sniping and then like a flash on the screen, like an edit, like like a video transition on the screen, like where the screen would shake, or they'd do something crazy, they get like 5 kills in a row or whatever it was. But people love that stuff. People absolutely lap that stuff up because it was just like new to them. Do you know what I mean? Seeing people do these like crazy plays and stuff like that.
Like it's funny you say that. Like I was actually going to bring this up back in like 2016, 2014 era. Like you said, the COD montages. That remember a studio called Rocket Jump? They did a lot of like edited videos, like IRL stuff. It was all like visual effects. They blew up, and their videos always used to get millions of views, and they would like not upload for like weeks at a time, because obviously that stuff takes ages. But I think what's happened is that, one, the accessibility for people to become content creators is way easier now. Like, and plus the genre of like content you can make is like, it's ever expanding. You can make content about anything, any hobby or any topic you want. You can make content about it now, and probably somebody already has. Even if you like fucking wheelbarrows, somebody's got a channel about wheelbarrows. I fucking bet you 50 quid on it, bro. I'll be real. But like, the accessibility for people, obviously, PCs have gotten stronger, so everyone's got Premiere Pro and After Effects, and the videos on how to do certain effects, there are way more people doing those now. So that's a skill people have naturally picked up over time, myself included. So like, visual effects and all that kind of, I would say it's kind of gimmicky now, but back then it wasn't, because no one done it. But there's just an oversaturation of that stuff. So that kind of allure and coolness to, oh my god, this guy added a fucking lens flare to a quick scope that he did on someone in MW2 is kind of like, oh, that's just box standard now, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, that's just like anything though, isn't it? Like, anything in life, like, gradually gets, you can't keep doing stuff like that, otherwise you just get left behind, and you're never gonna make something out of it if you're just doing the same thing as everyone else is doing. But you are definitely right. Like, content now is crazy. Like, the amount of things you see, and like the way people edit things, and so many people are like so talented at editing, which is why I believe editing is like so powerful when trying to make something out of it, because you can, like, going back to what you said about the, having like a average clip or something and making it good, you can do that with a bit of content. Like, if it's just like, just your gameplay, and like you think, okay, this is fairly decent, you can make that gameplay turn into anything. A very good example of this is, I think, quote me if I'm wrong, Crim, Ragtag is his name.
Yeah. I know.
Ragtag, like, his videos are, I'm not gonna, listen, I'm not amazing at the game, but he makes his videos that are like just, him playing in gold lobbies, he playing in like silver lobbies, but he makes them so exciting with the way he like edits it, with the music, the cutting, the like voiceovers, like the dramatic pauses and stuff. He just makes the gameplay feel so much better and like hooks you in, because it's almost like he's telling a story. And then you sort of like lose track of like what you're watching. You're thinking, oh, like, I'm only watching like, no offense, I'm only watching like a silver lobby or a gold lobby or whatever it is. And you're like, oh my god, like, this is sick. Like, I actually want him to win this, and like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here. But like, the average person or a normal person will just be like, this is just my gameplay. Like, I don't really know what to do with this. Like, no one's really going to watch this because it's low level. All people care about is like masters and pred lobbies and blah, 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 blah. But like, that just shows, I feel like he's like a very good example of, he knows what he's good at and he makes it work. Like, he's got a niche. I think
that's a good example of very good editing paired with a very good concept for a video, because I mean, Apex content, I'll say it how it is, yeah. It's one of the most stale things right now in gaming. Like, no offense to all my fellow content creators when I say this, but a lot of Apex content, TikTok and YouTube, is like, it's pretty shit, I'll be real. Right? It's like, either someone's dropped the 20k, someone's dropped the 4k. I go bronze to plat using a P20. It's been done because it's not even their fault, because there's 21 seasons of this fucking game. Like, there's only so much content you can get from the game and make it into the game, right? But on the flip side, that guy you just said, I just checked him out now. Like, you're saying he's in silver lobbies and stuff. He's taken that, grind to pred. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna make low level gameplay, as you said, but I'm gonna make it interesting. That's something. I mean, I didn't even know people did that. I mean, you're telling me now, but that within itself is a kind of a creative take and a good idea on a concept that's already kind of beaten to death, let's say, like the whole rank grind and making a YouTube video out of it. So like, I think that is a very good example of good editing paired with, I wouldn't say original, but like a unique spin on an idea or concept. And like, he's doing bits, like his videos are...
Yeah, his videos are very... I mean, I haven't watched a lot of them, but like, Crim used to speak like highly of him, and I've watched like one or two, and like, his videos are like very engaging to like watch, even if, the gameplay isn't insane and he's not like 1v3ing and stuff like that. I mean, I know me and Crim have spoke about this in the past about like content. You just sort of have to know your niche and be like, okay, well, I'm more than likely probably not going to get a 1v3. I'm more than likely probably not going to do like insane trick shots or like, you know.
Even so, like how often do people get views for 1v3ing anymore? Like I feel like half the talent lies within people actually being able to make content from nothing, or from content that's been done 1,000 times already. They've been able to change it in a way that makes it unique and different. And I think that's where a lot of the talent lies. It's people being creative and making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Being able to tell stories as well, like that is a really big. That's a huge part of editing for me, is being able to tell a story with how you edit, making sure that every cut actually has a purpose.
Yeah. And it's funny you talk about the one. Sorry, Woody. It's funny you talk about the 1v3s on Apex. I remember Warzone clips. Everyone was banging out, "Oh, look, I got this quick shot with the car, long shot with the car, 1v4 the whole squad." It got stale very quickly, obviously, because everyone was doing it. And then I started noticing on TikTok people narrating their 1v4s and kind of giving like a psychological breakdown with the game, like in between kills it'd slow down, and you know, and it was like telling a narrative, like Crimp said, in that 1v4. So there is definitely, like, again, opportunity, or you know, like an opportunity to make 1v3s interesting again, right? But I mean, it's already done in Warzone, so I mean, I haven't really seen anyone do it for Apex. But I guess the thing with editing is, and content creation, is that it's not necessarily coming up with something. How do I word this? It's not necessarily coming up with something completely original. It's about how can you build off of something, right? So like I said, the 1v3s on Apex. How can I do it different, where it's not a heavily edited montage, which everyone's seen? Or how can I make my 1v3 different to everyone else's, you know, using editing? And I think that's what, you know, a lot of editing also comes down to, bro. Like, how do you structure things? That, because no one really, when people think of editing, I don't think they necessarily, the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, it's structure. Like, structuring a video is a big part of editing, a huge part.
Yeah,
like,
massive.
The first thing you do is lay the foundation of, I mean, if you're a good editor, I'm a donkey. So what I do is I'll just fucking start working on minute 1, heavily edited it, and then I'll go to minute 2 because I'm an idiot. But the way you're meant to do it is structure your fucking timeline, get everything you want and the structure down, and then go after, add your memes or visual effects or whatever.
Structuring. There's a really good trick for that as well. Music is your structure. It plays the perfect structure.
Yeah.
When I made my Apex edit, I used one track throughout, but that track it changed throughout. Yeah. It had a high moment, it had a low moment, and that built the structure for me completely. And I think if you start out your edit using the audio, then you are building your structure to follow the tone of the music.
Unreal edit, by the way. Still one of my favourite Apex videos, and I'm not just saying that because we're mates. Like, that video was actually unbelievable.
Yeah,
it was so good. It was actually so good.
Like Deagle said, it's mostly structure in there.
Yeah,
because it has the high moments and the low moments. It's why people like it. Because it's not just an edit that has like multiple cuts where you see a bunch of different things happening.
Yeah,
and I think this is. I know I've probably taken over a little bit too much, but
no, go for it.
It's probably like something that a lot of people misunderstand about editing, is that when they're looking for an editor, what they look for usually is someone to just cut down their original content into something shorter. That should not be the goal. Your goal shouldn't be to make your content shorter than what it is. Your goal should be to formulate the story, no matter what. If you are cutting down a single stream, then you should cut it into the order in which things happen during that stream. If you started out by winning loads at the start of the stream, and then you had a really, really shit time in the middle, and then you came back at the end to win everything again, then that's exactly how your video should follow it. Your video should not just be every winning game.
Yeah, because it becomes boring and people know what they're expecting.
Yeah, literally. So for the Is Apex Legends back, I had the Oppenheimer music playing, and throughout the whole thing, you hear the violence, like the tension increasing, and the more the song goes, the stupider the things I show on screen like become, like from like the Buster Sword at the end, or like, you know, Sweet getting pred without getting a kill. That's all towards the end, or like the configs all coming up on screen. Like the pacing of it also changed with the music as well. And then when the climax happened, I had Hal throw his controller, and when the audio of the controller smashing to pieces, that's when the audio cut. And that's all to do with structure.
Yeah.
That's not memes, that's not graphic effect. You know, it's literally cuts and structure. Those are the two most fundamentals and the things you need to get down when it comes to editing before anything else. Like, if I could take the visual effects of the VHS tape off that intro and it would still have the same impact, because the structure and the timing and the cuts were all there where they needed to be there. You know what I'm saying? So what Krim said is 100% true. Like, using music to structure things is big
yeah.
point.
I think as well, like what you're saying about the memes and stuff is, you know, there's a lot of times when you have like hours of footage and you have to go through, and you might spend like the first 5 hours of your edit literally just clipping stuff, cutting it, putting it in front of other things, or, you know, like deleting certain things you didn't like in a video, or thinking, oh, okay, I don't really want to use that bit now, and then thinking, oh, okay, I'll use it again, or like like you said, a structure is just, it takes so long, and you feel like you're not doing anything because you're just looking at your timeline. You've just got the file across your timeline, and you're going, well, what have I realistically done? All I've done is cut down like 10 hours worth of footage and put it into like however many minutes video you're doing, like 20 minutes or whatever, but that takes so much time. That is crazy, and you change your mind constantly as well.
You know when people ask me, oh, Deagle, like, why is it taking so long? Oh, Deagle, like, why have you not finished edit? Oh, Deagle. Bruv, it's because I can't be asked. I procrastinate on the structure bit because it's so fucking boring. It's the worst part of editing as well. Going through, I like that last video, 40 minutes of me talking to a microphone and a camera. I had to condense it down to, it was 13 minutes overall with the intro. Like, it's fucking boring.
It is.
It is boring. But, like, again, it's the most important part. And I think getting it done and over with, it lets me do the rewarding bit after, which is add the fucking memes.
And all the actual real edits.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But, bruv, a hand on heart. When I say I hate editing, that's what I mean by I hate editing, cutting down footage. And that's actually another thing that I wanted to quickly talk about, is the reason why I think I couldn't become an editor for someone else is because going through people's work, especially if it's not mine, I just can't find the motivation to go through like an hour's worth of footage. I can't do it of someone else's work. It's just not for me. I have to have some sort of personal connection to it for me to give a shit about it.
I think you've like hit the nail on the head though, because I feel the exact same about that. Not like if someone was coming to me to edit, but if someone was on the opposite side of that and someone was offering to edit my stuff. Like I've always said to anyone, like there's been a few people that have offered to like edit for me or like whatever, like, you know. But I've always said, like, I don't want you to do it for me because then I'm not learning. Like if I give you all my stuff and then you edit and give it back to me, I haven't learned anything. I've just seen what you've done and go, oh, that's sick, and then post it. That's all I've done. So I'm not learning anything. So then eventually, like, you know, if you're busy or like you can't do it or like you quit or whatever it is, then you got to try and find someone else, and then someone else, and then the more you put it through like the mill of like people editing, the further away you're going to get from what you actually want, because it's so hard. Everyone has their own editing techniques and editing like softwares, and you know the way they like to do cuts and transitions and blah 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 blah. Like 100%. Everyone is completely different. Otherwise, you know, if everyone was the same, then no one would be an editor. It would just be, you know, oh, I'll just pick this guy or whatever. Like people choose their editors based on what they can do and like their actual brain. You're not really paying for like, you're not really paying for the editor side. You're sort of paying for the person's like input as well. Yeah, like the input of what they're doing and like the way they think you should put the video in this style, and like when you should have subtitles and when this should come up on the screen and blah blah blah. Like it's so much that goes on. Yeah. When you're making something like a long video, not short, but I mean like long form, that like it can sometimes take away from what you actually want the video to be. That's why for me, like I know when I'm like when I'm like actually editing a video, like I mean I've only edited like 10 videos max, maybe I'd say. you get into like the flow of thinking, okay, right, now I can do this with that with this. Okay, this bit of video I can do, I'll put a meme on that, or I'll cut it there and I'll implement this in here, and I'll do like a video transition here, and whatever it is you're doing to it, like that's your actual input into it. Regardless of how good or bad it is, that's still your input. So you'll learn from it regardless, no matter what it is, no matter how good or bad it is. That's not just the technique of editing it, like, putting a filter on it or whatnot. I just mean the actual idea of going, okay, well, I like the way I did this. Maybe I could do that again in another video, or, okay, this is what I liked when I uploaded this. I'm going to use that same concept and, like, use a different version of it. So, for example, like you saying about the intros, like, you have a different intro in time. That's, like, your niche, right? Is that you love to heavily focus on the intro because that's the hook part of the video, where you're going to get people hooked on, the start of the video and how the video is going to go. Which is why you focus so heavily on the start of the video. But you'll find everyone has their own different, everyone has their own different ways of editing and what they make content on.
And they should, because if you're not gonna have your own style, then what the fuck's the point of being a content creator? Like, bruv, like at that point, I might as well be the fucking funnier version of Vikkstar, and you might as well be a skinnier version of Bazinga, bruv. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, what's the point, bro? Like, if I can confidently say, whether it is my work within that I do with the music stuff, like my editing for grime music and like covers and graphic design, which Crimp and you've seen, or my gaming edits, right? I hand on heart, and I believe this, and I'll say it with chest, I can assure you that if someone watches that and they know me, they'll say, yeah, that's a Deagle video. Not because my face is in it, just because of the style of video it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, or the style of or whatever I've created. Like, that's what people, I think, creatives and content creators need to aim for. People to look at your work, and go, oh yeah, that's a Wardy video. Oh, that's a Wardy, thing. Like, or, what I'm saying? Because if you don't have that, then you're just another, YouTuber, or you're just another Apex content creator in a sea full of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this is what comes back to me bringing up and like kind of slating Apex, like content creation. It's like, I don't watch Apex content creators. I don't. Hand on heart, I don't. And in fact, a lot of my influence of my videos, I don't know what I'm looking here because you're on this monitor, but I'm not even looking at my fucking camera.
I'm sorry, I might look what you want.
The influence for my YouTube videos don't even come from gaming content necessarily. A lot of my influence for my most recent videos are people like Cody Co, Noel, someone called Just Rain, and if you know who Just Rain is, then you're a fucking real one. And they're all people who do commentary videos and they stand in front of the camera and talk, right? Again, and I did that, I didn't create. It's not original, someone standing in front of the camera and making jokes, right? But I've now incorporated it into Apex, and I'm trying to do something slightly different in that kind of thing. And I think that's what the Apex kind of scene kind of needs, because like I brought it back to, like, it's kind of all been done, like, and it's the best time to experiment. There's no meta right now. There is literally no meta. Like, there's the different style of videos, the informative ones, the how-tos, and then there's funny ones, and kind of like the every update you get your update video, whatever. That's it. But like, if you're an Apex content creator right now is the best time to experiment, because even though we got like season 20, season 21, me and you both know, after like a couple of weeks, the game got fucking boring. Like, it gets stale very, very quickly now. It like kind of loses its steam, even though last season was a massive overhaul, whatever. For me personally, I won't speak on your behalf, Woody, but for me, it lost steam after a couple of weeks. I kind of stopped caring. I didn't even watch big streamers on thingy. So when Nat goes, oh, how do you not know this guy? It's like, because I don't watch Apex on Twitch unless it's my friends, or, even on YouTube, because it doesn't engage me. So for me, when I make my YouTube videos, I also think in the back of my head what I would want to watch, like if I were to click on YouTube, and what tickles my brain is that style of video. So I make that style of video, and it low-key kind of worked. Not to say that, people's ideas won't work, because obviously everyone, there's fucking 7 billion of us in the world. Everyone's got different tastes, we're all different and we all like different things, right? But go fucking crazy, man. Now's the time to go fucking crazy. Do fucking crazy, like make some fucking batshit crazy YouTube video on Apex that never been done before, because it's the best time to do it. the game kind of needs it right now. So
I do think that's a good point about you know, like you're saying about them YouTubers you watch. They're like comedian, they do like comedy and their stuff. You are always naturally gonna do stuff that you enjoy watching and put it in your video, because you're not gonna make a video about, you know, you'll lose so much like passion for it if you're trying to make a video on what you think people will like, rather than going, okay, well, this is the style of video that I like and I enjoy watching, I'm going to make it. Obviously, if it's like, you know, the same as everyone else, then maybe you need to get your own spin on it. Of course you do.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about making something from another content creator who doesn't even stream Apex or whatever whatever game they're playing, that's obviously going to give you a benefit, because you're taking something from another aspect of like YouTube and putting it into a video that isn't done a lot. Like, for example, I know there isn't a lot of people that commentate over their gameplay. Like, I don't watch like thousands of YouTubers. Like, I don't watch a lot of Apex YouTubers, but that's one thing that I know that a lot of people don't do. They don't like commentate and storytell over their gameplay, which is why, going back to Ragtag, I feel like he's done so well off that, because one, it's a niche, and two, he's very, very good at it as well. Like, he's not just, you know, he doesn't just go, okay, right, I've done this recording, right, now me talk over it. Because, like, for me personally, it sounds so weird, and I sit in front of the camera like 5 times a week. I find it so hard to sit there and commentate over something. Or like, when I do my EA videos, and I have to sit there and voice over, and I have to watch the edit, and I have to talk in time of the edit, and then line it up so it's all edited in the same way. I find it so difficult to just write something down and just read it off a script. Like, it is so hard for me. I don't know what it is. It's just and that's not even been on camera. On camera, it's a lot worse, because I have to stare directly into the camera and talk. But like, for me, it's like, it's just silent. So I'm just sitting there going, hey guys, welcome to my video. Like, it's hard to for me, it's personally, it's hard to do that. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. It's just one of them things that I just can't. It's something I need to work on.
It's something you'll get good at eventually, because when I started doing stuff like commentaries, it would take, like, especially for uni, it would be like the 50th take, and I'd stumble on a word. I'd be like, oh, fuck, I need to redo it. Or when I listen back to it, I sound so monotone and no passion, no energy. There's like, it's because obviously when you were doing that commentary, you want it to be like, you know, like you're having a natural conversation like me and you right now. You want it to sound like this, but when you're like narrating and reading off a script, then no, it sounds like this, and I sound like I'm dead inside and I'm very depressed. But like, you don't want it to sound like it's not engaging. But like, the more and more you do it, and the more and more you consciously tell yourself, nah, I sound like a fucking, you know, dead fucking dog or whatever. I need to fucking energize myself. You'll get. I mean, like, when I stand in front of the camera now. Not to gloat, it's like all one take most of the time. The way I want the joke to land kind of lands, and I mean, a lot of my content hinges on the fact whether or not I can make the joke land or not. Like, if I make, you know, I'm trying to think of like what I said, like fucking, you know, if I don't, if the joke that I'm making is me being sarcastic and I don't sound sarcastic, it's not gonna, it's just not gonna land, or it's just not gonna hit, if you know what I mean.
Definitely.
But that's a skill within itself. But outside of editing, that's another thing about content creation. Like, cool, you've mastered editing. Have you learned how to make good thumbnails? Have you learned how to analyze your viewer retention chart and understanding why your video possibly did well or didn't do well? Why did your viewers, breaking down that stuff? That's a skill within itself. And then, you know, if you actually talk about playing the game, then you have to be good at the fucking game, you know, which most of us fucking struggle to do. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
I think as well, with what you were saying about the one take thing, is going back to what I was saying about my video. It took me, the first time I did it was the very first time, you know, I had to do that like short video. It took me so long. I honestly deleted about 50 different videos of me just like going, so this is what's coming to Apex, and I was like, fuck, and I just had to keep cutting and deleting and just constantly deleting all of the footage I had of it, because I was just like, it sounds so bad. So the way I did it the next time was, I did the same concept, I just did it short. I just said, right, I'm going to say this sentence, then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to say this sentence, and then I'm going to stop. And then I can just edit it, so like, me when I'm going like, I can just cut that out, so there's no like me breathing in like when I'm talking on the mic. There's no like stuttering of the words. Like, there's no you know, it all like I can compress the audio down, so it's like I'm cutting the bits out. So it's like it's like I'm just constantly talking. Like I'm just having a normal conversation. It's just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. And you just push it together. And then I was just like, okay, this time it's actually been all right because it's been a lot better. But did you do your video, your most recent one, in one take then? Because I feel like that's also a skill as well, is getting like commentating down and talking to a camera, etc. And feeling comfortable doing it enough to the point where you're not spending like 5-6 hours on doing it, you know?
It's like acting, bruv.
Definitely,
you know, like
100%.
You are putting on a performance when you're doing content that revolves you speaking, commentating, or like me putting yourself in front of camera. Bruv, you're basically a fucking actor at that point. I best believe when I'm banging them jokes here and the camera cuts, I'm not banging jokes like that. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just normal. I'm just fucking tired after that. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to fucking open my mouth after I'm done with the video, bro. You know what I mean? But it's acting, especially when, you know, those kind of EA sponsored, you know, content. Not saying you don't give a shit about the new season. That's not the case. But it's like you really have to put on that emphasis and that this is what's coming new to Apex. You know what I mean? You're not fucking... Bro, if you talk to me about the new season about Apex, you're not going to come to me like, Diego, this is what's new in the new season of Apex. Like, you're not going to talk to me like...
Yeah, no, you won't. You have to, yeah, to make it engaging.
You want to... And it's the hook. The first part of the video has to be grabbing...
Yeah, the hook is very important.
So the stereotypical YouTube or content creator thing is to like scream into the camera and loud arrows and everything. You know what I mean? Like... You have to do it. So a part of it is acting. And the reason why I moved my content over in this direction, where it's more with me, like my personality, is because I was like really good at not GCSE drama, but like drama in school. And I should have done it for GCSEs, but I did music instead like a fucking idiot. Bruv, I'll keep it real, yeah. I just love fucking acting like a dumbass in front of a camera. I love it. Like, it's so funny to me. Like, even watching myself back and just like, I like it. Like, I don't know how else to explain. Like, I love doing it. So I'm just like, why don't I just do that with Apex? Like, you know, and again, it comes back to all the things I've been influenced from all the time I was watching YouTube. Like, going back to like Just Rain, because he's like one of my all-time S-tier fucking YouTubers. He would just bang jokes about being Punjabi or whatever, and I know not everyone's gonna fucking relate to that in Twitch chat because obviously none of you guys are Punjabi to my knowledge. But and I would find it so funny, and like he would like do skits as well. Like he would have himself, and he would show his personality, and obviously, if you're on Twitch and you're putting yourself out there, you obviously have a personality, you know, everyone has a personality, but kind of really ramping it up for camera and stuff, I find that shit so fun, bro. So again, it leads into my other point, is if you are going to become a content creator and you want to make, and this applies to maybe, you know, it applies to both long form and short form, start making videos and then analyze what your strengths are and then play to your strengths. I'm not going to make a video about me dropping a 20 kill fucking 4k damage game, because guess what? I've never dropped a 20k fucking game or got 4k damage in Apex. I know Shotcara, I'm dog shit at the fucking video game. It's also because I'm on MNK. I'm
also on MNK, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I am actually on MNK. I do use one of these, a keyboard and a mouse. I use both. So just anyone out there that's wondering...
I'm not gonna make that video, am I? Because it's not playing into my strengths. I'm okay. I'm not gonna say I'm dog shit. I'm fucking pretty good at Apex. I'm just not fucking Fade or Lamic level.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna play into that strength. My strengths are cracking jokes. Let's play into that strength. And I think that really comes down to every content creator. What are you good at, and how can you make your content based around that strength, or strengths, I should say, because it's good to have multiple. But
definitely.
Yeah.
Before we go into the third question, you said about how you're tired after you like make a video or like you're doing a commentary. I feel like that's like a very misconception in people when they're streaming. Like, people just see streamers and go, you know, that's easy. Like, you're just sitting there for X amount of time and you're just playing a game, or you're just, you know, doing just talking to some, or like just doing just chatting, or you're doing an IRL stream or whatever you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that is always such a misconception, and people are like, well, you can't really be tired because you're just doing what I'm doing, but you're doing it in front of camera. But it's completely different. Like streaming and gaming offline is like two separate, completely different experiences. Yeah. Like, I mean, I know you can say this as well, and obviously Crimp as well, because Crimp streamed before, and anyone in chat who's obviously streamed. When you're streaming, it takes so much more energy out of you because you know that you have to be engaging, you have to be, you know, you have to be entertaining, you have to, you know, not like fake your personality, but like hype it up just like one notch. You know what I mean? Then obviously, if you're having people come in chat, you're having like, you know, at some stage, depending on how many people you have in your chat or whatever you're doing, you're gonna be having like 5 or 6 different combos. Yeah. Not everyone is going to be on the same combo as the next person. You know what I mean? Like someone will come and say, oh, hello, like how you doing? And then you're having a conversation with them. Then someone else come in and say that. And then it's just like a revolving, you know what I mean? Not everyone knows each other and, you know, they come here for you, which is why, like I had it today when people were saying, oh, how do you forget that I just said that? Like, it's because there's so much going on in my brain with focus on chat, playing the game, trying to do good in the game, trying to be entertaining at the same time. Like it's so much going on at one time that I feel like your brain just like
melts.
It just melts sometimes. Like I can't think of the many times I've like looked at a message, read it in my head, and then just gone, oh. And then like I remember it like 10 minutes later, and I'm like, crap, that person came in. I spoke to him in ages. They said hello, and I was like I should just message them. I did see your message, but like I just read it in my head, and I just completely forgot to message, which obviously comes across bad because you don't want it to be like that. You don't want to, you know, ignore someone if they're talking in your chat. Like, you know, not everyone, people don't have to be in your chat, like, especially if it's live all the time. You know what I mean?
I think with that, sorry to interrupt.
No, go on.
People underestimate, how fucking draining it is to be constantly talking. You are in a way in a one-sided conversation because they're typing behind the screen. They don't show their face. You know, you are constantly on camera if you obviously stream with the camera, and you're constantly having to read chat. You can't. Like there are times there, like I'll fucking keep it so fucking real because I don't really give a shit anymore. But there's sometimes there are people that come into my chat who are just fucking annoying, and I just don't even want to I don't want to deal with that. But if you show that on stream, it's done, innit? It's done out. And I'm not necessarily people that like they're people that decide. But you know when random chatters, especially fucking losers that play Apex, that come, oh I shit on you, bruv, deep down in my heart, right? My motor neuron response to that like chat is suck your mum. Like that's what I just want to just suck your mum. You know what I mean? Just fuck off. But you can't do that because you're stream. You can't just be fucking, you know, cunty on stream. There's an element of that.
No,
as well.
You do have to have like a especially like being on camera and stuff. You do have to have a thick skin with what people are saying because
100%.
It's just like in everyday life as well. I feel like when you're talking to someone over text, things can come across a lot differently to when you're saying it out loud because you can, you know, have a different way of saying it, like your tone of voice and stuff like that. It's very easy to just judge a message on a screen and go, oh, why are they being horrible to me, or why are they saying that to me? Which is why, again, that's like hard because, you know, people say stuff and you think, okay, are they joking or are they not joking? Like, depending on how well you know them and like their banter and stuff, it's hard to like grasp like what they mean, you know.
So like it's like it's streaming in itself, and it's kind of like why I kind of stopped. Is like it's so fucking taxing. Like it's just like after I'm done with stream, I don't want to chat to anyone. I just don't want to speak to anyone.
That's fair.
You know the fucking joke. Oh, don't talk to me. That's me, bruv. I'm not even joking. It's like after I'm done recording a video as well. It's like I don't want to fucking talk to anyone. I'm done with talking today. That's
it's just a lot of like, brain power.
Like I was explaining, this is kind of unrelated, but I was explaining to Zed, he's like, oh, you seem like a sociable person. I'm like, yeah, but I just don't fucking like people, man. I have a finite amount of energy I can give, and when it's gone, I'm done. And streaming, especially for like more than 4 hours, you know, it would deplete that battery. And I would just not fucking interact with anyone after that, and I'd just be like, fuck off, leave me
Everyone's completely different. That's why I feel like what you just said, I'm the complete opposite of that. Like, I could talk to people for ages.
Yeah.
Like, just constantly. I'm constantly just talking to, like, and that's not me being, like, big-headed, like, oh, look at me, I've got loads of friends. I just mean, like, I don't mind talking to loads of different people. Like, I'm not, like, just going to ignore you.
You're friends with Hal.
No, I'm actually not, but he's next on the list. So, Hal, if you're listening to this podcast, mate, we're going to become best friends soon.
Izzy, fuck, mate. Why would he want to listen to a podcast about me?
I'll get him on it, mate. I got connections. I don't have connections.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right, anyway, we've got a bit off track. But the third question I have for you is... it's sort of like, I think it's a two-part one of this. What advice would you give to people wanting to start making short-form / long-form content but don't know where to start?
It's super easy. I used to like get overwhelmed with it as well, so I understand, but it's super easy. 3 tips I'll give anyone. Find YouTubers you want to emulate, or TikTokers or streamers you want to emulate, right? Analyze what they do well and stuff. Ask yourself why you want to do it. Right, why do you want to start? Do you want to do it because you want the notoriety or fame? Do you want to do it for the numbers? Do you want to do it because you enjoy it, or do you want to try it? Like, ask yourself that question. And then thirdly, is just fucking do it. Just start. Like, you're not gonna learn how to make a good YouTube video if you don't fail like 100 times. I didn't learn how to get this good at editing by watching tutorials and not editing. My first video that hit 5k views, it didn't just happen that one time. Like, 5k views is like nothing, but to me it's everything, because it's so sick that I got a video that's like popped off like that. I think it's the sickest shit ever, and if you think otherwise, fuck off. But like before that, like my videos, I had 4 YouTube channels based on gaming before that, since I was like I said, when I was 11. My first one was called Tempest Surge, bruv. And like I said, I was recording on my camera and stacking my games on like game covers on top of each other and recording, bruv. I didn't even fucking have Premiere Pro. I had Windows Movie Maker. But it's the fact that I started, and and just started that process of doing it. Just go out and fucking do it.
Yeah, the steps of
Your first video isn't gonna get 100 views. It probably won't. Just do it.
I think
just keep doing it.
I think research is the massive one. Like, if you was to ask that to me, I'd say personally is research. Like, whether that's researching, like you said, about your favorite YouTubers or their style of content, or even the small things like, downloading the software and starting off the basics, like watching an hour-long video of how, the beginner's guide to DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro. Like, you have to get into... Like, for me anyway, I'm a visual learner. Like, you could say something to me and explain me how to do it, and like I'll probably struggle. But if you was like, okay, here's like a 30-second video, watch this and show me how to do it, I'll probably be able to do it, because I can just watch it and go, okay, and click here, click here, click here. You know what I mean? You want to make it as easy for yourself as possible, which is why I think all them videos do decent as well, because how do I, even like, let's just say something small. I mean, most people know how to do this. How to open Task Manager. Like, someone out there has probably Googled that or YouTube that, and there probably is a video out there on how to do that, and it probably has got a lot of views, because it's so simple. But some people are just genuinely visual learners. I mean, that might have been a terrible example, but like, I mean, the simplicity of, having something that's very, very easy to do, but like someone might not know how to do it. So that's why I think research is a massive one, to what you're saying about where to start, because you need to get some sort of inspiration from somewhere and start the steps. Like, you're not gonna, if you opened up Premiere Pro or DaVinci or whatever you're using, you are not going to have a clue what you're doing when you look at it. Like, you will not understand what anything does, why there's so many buttons, why there's so many different, like, titles, and what different things do, and how to do a certain thing you want to do. Like, I'm sure there's stuff in Premiere Pro that you've gone nowhere near yet. Like, I'm sure there isn't every single thing on there you've used, right?
Whoa. You're insulting my intelligence, for you.
Okay, I mean, for me, there's stuff on DaVinci that I've not been anywhere near, and I'm just like,
let's just say
I just haven't even bothered.
No, I'm joking.
Because it's so like, it's so in depth, like these like softwares that they're not just used for gaming videos, or they're not just used for like even like a podcast, for example. Like, there's so many different things you can use an editing software for, like making a vlog, making a cooking channel, or whatever you're doing. Like, there's so many different layers to what you're doing which is why when you go on there, you're not going to have a clue what you want to do for when you want to make videos. I know, for example, there is this very good YouTuber, I can't think of his name, but he does like DaVinci Resolve videos. You might be able to Google him now, Deagle. And he's called, his whole catch is DaVinci Resolve for noobs, and then he'll tell you what to do in like short form content and long form content. He's got like long curly hair, and like a big beard. Yeah. I don't know his name. Yeah, Daniel. Him. He, like, the amount of times I've just Googled something or YouTube something and his video come up and I just watch it and I'm just like, okay, this is so easy, because he just makes it so easy. Like, he'll just zoom in on something, follow the mouse, click where you need to click, and it's just easy to follow. And like, his videos do so well because he's doing something so simple, but thousands of people are going to want to know how to do it, regardless of if you're a massive YouTuber or streamer, content creator, whatever, compared to if you're a smaller content creator, or you know, you just do it for a bit of fun and every now and then. Like, everyone's going to be able to have a chance to use it, you know.
Yeah, like there's like you said, there are parts of Premiere Pro I don't touch when I edit a gaming video, like color grading. I don't fucking color grade my color. Does who the fuck color grades their gaming videos? Like, no, you don't.
I'm not gonna lie, I do. But I only add like a tint of like just to brighten the colours a little bit, you know, like just to make it pop a bit more, just to make it pop a bit more.
I'm not done it. That's your YouTube. If you want to turn saturation up, that's on you.
I just do it like, you know, just a quick dash. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when you're.
I'm not judging you for it. All right, I am just saying you are a bit of a fucking freak.
No. You just want to make it look a bit more bright and a bit more, you know, exciting on the eye.
I don't touch it. I don't touch it. Only time I color correct is if I'm in front of camera, and even then, I fucking use the chroma key to fucking cut out my white background on my wall. I don't. So, but it was just an example. Just saying, it was just an example.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
When I, for example, if I'm editing, like right now, before I joined the podcast, I was editing a grime cipher that I'm working on, the pub one. We shot one in the pub. That I'm literally have my a color grading tab open, even though I didn't color grade for this one, and I usually do, and then I have my editing tab open because I need to add a lot of visual effects to it. But like I said earlier, the two parts of Premiere Pro that I use in any video is the timeline and the cut feature, because that's the fundamental of any editing, and that's the thing that people need to get down. It's regardless of what you're editing, gaming, like you said, cooking, or whatever it is, you need to know how to do that. And again, even when I'm doing my grind video, it's structure, it's pacing, how it flows. It's the same thing with content.
Yeah.
Different context, different use, all that stuff, but it's the same principle, and you need to learn.
You need to know how to do it, yeah. And that's just not even, you know, that is a form of editing, but you're not physically doing anything in the editing software. That's all just down to do with your brain and how you want to put a certain thing, like just cutting. Like you said, just cutting. Like, cutting it's a simple skill, but like, if it's perfected, then you can make it a lot better.
Yeah,
you know, because you need to know when to cut, when not to cut, like things you shouldn't include, like, you know, even like small things like looping a video, or like cutting something from earlier before and then putting it back into the video. Like, sometimes that's good, you know, a good structure to a video, because you go, okay, like, if people didn't remember I did this earlier in the video, I can put it, you know, further along the timeline, and they go, okay, yeah, I remember that now. Or, you know, like a flashback, or like a dream, or whatever you want to make it into. It makes it just a tad more like exciting and interesting, because you're using something you've already, like, you sort of recycled it, but not like to the point of where it's gone dull, you know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
But yeah, I think we've done that question. Okay, how many questions you got left? I think about 6. How do you react when a piece of content you took a long time to edit doesn't do that well online?
I get vexed.
So, yeah, okay, well, you get annoyed. Okay, so the highs and lows. Okay, so we'll start with, you've obviously said you're vexed, so we'll start with the lows. Like, for example, you make a video, it doesn't do as well as the previous video, or it doesn't do well at all, and you think, like, well, why is that not done? For, like, just a quick one for me, I'd say that's happened to me. It happens to everyone. It happens to every single content creator that's probably ever made a video. Or not every video you do is going to bang. Like, sometimes it's just the wrong time. Sometimes you just don't hit algorithm.
Yeah.
They just don't like the way you've done something, and it just happens. Like, one of my videos, I took double the time of a previous video, did worse than the video before that, like half the views wise. And I was like, okay, well that's disappointing because I took so much longer on this video and I actually put my like a lot of effort into this one and it didn't do anywhere near as good as the one before that. So yeah, I'd say what would you say like the lows of it are? So like when you make a content.
I don't know if Kamos is still in chat, but I remember sitting on a call with her, and this is when season 20 came out, right? And I put out like a TikTok detailing about all the things that happened in season 20. And I was like, this video surely minimum 100 likes. It's well edited. It has the hook. It's a good video. I was confident in it, and I was so certain it was gonna get minimum 100 likes because whatever. It's still one of my best performing TikToks. It got 60 likes or whatever, but I was so confident in it, right? And then it didn't do that well after a day, and I was like, initially I was like, oh, whatever, it is what it is, yeah. The thing that fucking vexed me, Wardy, and I don't know if you can relate to this, is I saw someone else's video, right? 100k likes, right, on the season. He did not say a word. He didn't edit. He did nothing. He just reacted to the trailer and opened his mouth and raised his eyebrows when something new came on the screen. 100k likes. I was so fucking vexed.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this? I literally remember cameras going, I'm sorry, but how the fuck are people liking this? And saying, yeah, like, oh man, I really enjoyed this man raising his eyebrows and fucking being gobsmacked at fucking horror. And you know what's funny? It wasn't even like the informative trailer. It was a fucking cartoon one. It was a cartoon one, and it which made it even worse. It's like, so there's nothing even happening. It's just the cinematic, and it's like done infinitely better than mine. And my man's added nothing to the video.
I think I think what you said like, there is just content in general, like just content creation in general. Like that's just sums it up in a nutshell. Like,
yeah,
someone could do like the most basic thing, and have like one silly part of the video or whatever it is, and it just goes viral. Or like it'll just blow up out of nowhere. Like I said, so I'm not go back to me, but like one of my most best performing TikToks is awful. It's not good. Like if I saw it, I would skip straight past it. And it's just me literally just like shooting grenades into a room with Fuse and just laughing about it because I'm like destroying this team. We're just sitting inside and I'm just like giggling to myself. Just went crazy. Like it had like I think it's on like 110k views or something, which. You know, on TikTok, that's not amazing, but like for the videos that I was posting, I was getting like 200, 300, 400 to go to up to 100,000 was like, whoa. Like I was like, holy crap. But then I looked at the video and thought, it's not even a good video. It's not a good video. My camera quality is really bad. The audio is not good in it at all. Like just the pitch of my mic and just like the game audio I had it on. The clip itself isn't even that good. It's just something, I guess, trolly and funny that people can relate to. Like, you know, it's all happened to you or whatever. But that just goes back to what you were saying about with the content you saw that guy make. That's just content. Like, you can't help what people are going to like and dislike. And sometimes it's not always what they like. It's just a controversial thing or something that's they can comment on that, you know, gets engagement, which is why people do clickbait titles and... But that's another story.
It like comes down to as well, like, and you know what? Like, I want to preface this. That reaction of me getting actually pissed off and vexed. It was in the moment, and obviously very childish way to react to your video not doing well. I've kind of gathered that, and I'm kind of aware of that before anyone comes at me saying, "Oh, whatever." It was a very childish way to react, but it was more or less the frustration of like it hitting me because I guess it didn't hit me that hard, but. Like when it came to YouTube and stuff, but with TikTok and that instance in particular, it really hit me hard that amount of effort put into editing doesn't equal to output or output you get from audience. That there's no correlation between that to a degree.
Yeah,
that's why even when it comes to YouTube, the YouTube videos I do now that I heavily edit, and I said earlier, I don't need to spend as much time I do into the intros. Right, I could potentially get the same views or maybe even more if I took a different approach. But the reason why I do it is because I like doing it like that, you know. And that's when it hit me. I was like, oh right. Just because I'm a good editor doesn't mean my videos are gonna bang.
Gonna do well.
And I guess it kind of comes back into the second question of how important you think editing is. It's everything and it's nothing at the same time. Like It's just my mindset changed after, you know, that experience of, oh, just because I'm fucking good at editing, it doesn't mean I'm gonna see results or success.
That's just learning though, isn't it? Like, just in general.
100%.
Like, just
100%.
Even like when you were saying you shouldn't have reacted to the way like you was annoyed at the video, but like at least you learned something from that video to think like, right, this took me this amount of time, and you know, this person I can sort of tell hasn't done that much effort in it, and they've done a lot better than me. But that's just the audience, you know. It's like having like the best burger in like your local area, and it's amazing. Like 3 people have said it's amazing, and then you see a guy across the road who's selling absolutely like it's not anywhere near as basic, and he's getting like 200-300 people. Like, you're not going to go up to him and be like, you know, what the fuck? You're just going to go, okay, well, what's he doing that I'm not? Or like, what can I do to make people want to come to watch me, and you know, that sort of stuff. It's you can't always like think. You have to sort of think as the viewer or as the audience. Like, sometimes you have to go into their brain and think, would I watch this, and is this funny to me, or blah blah.
I'd still go to the burger stand and give him a piece of my fucking mind. I'll tell you that. TikTok, you're a bunch of fucking cunts. I'm never making short-term content. Genuinely, that's the last time I made a TikTok. I'm not even joking. I didn't make a TikTok after that. I was like, fuck this. Again, that's going into my strengths. I knew my strengths was long-form content, and then the next YouTube video I made, 5.7k views. So
yeah, it's just a learning process, though, isn't it? It's just a learning process.
Don't be shy from trying new things or trying different things. Like don't be shy from it. Keep an open mind to this stuff. You never know where you're going to find success in. I didn't. Not that I knew I wouldn't in TikTok, but I didn't know until I tried, right? And if you go through my TikToks, I've deleted quite a few of them, but I was uploading to TikTok like consistently for quite a while, and I really didn't see the success that I wanted to see, and perhaps I didn't stick it out as long as I should have to see those results. But I mean, I made the decision that, okay, I don't even enjoy making this content. Secondly, is it sustainable? No, because I'm getting sick of it. What do I like doing then? Long form content. And I just put my eggs into like the long form basket. And some people have the energy to edit all, you know, long videos, short form content. They have that energy. And if you do, like, respect to you, I bow down to you, you're fucking G, cool, man. Like, I really like am happy for you that can do that. I fucking can't though. So that's me recognizing my strength of making those longer videos, but also saying and understanding my own limitations as a content creator as well, and just saying, look, I can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna even bother with that anymore because I don't want to. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that they. And probably not people, I should say myself, because this is definitely something to do with, like, I struggle with letting go of things. I felt like I had to make TikToks because everyone says you should make TikToks for growth on Twitch. Well, everyone's not me, so I'm not going to do what everyone does because it's not working for me.
Yeah. 100%. It's tough though, because obviously everyone's always going to compare themselves to other people. Like, regardless of like stature and views and following and whatever, you're always going to think, okay, well, they've done this, so it's going to work for me. But like, you just can't think like that, because it's never ever going to work. You can take ideas from what they're doing and like spin it on your own thing, but if you're just out and out straight copying them, then you know you're not going to get anywhere, because everyone's going, oh well, this guy does that, so why should I watch you do the exact same thing? Like, it's just not sustainable. Okay, that's the lows. What would you say the highs are?
Oh, bruv, the highest for me, is when I send the video off to like one of you lot, and you lot just fucking giggling to it. That's so fucking sick to me. That, like, you guys find it funny. Like, under 5k views, genuinely, like, when people react, that, like, I know, like, my friends, they react to the video and they come back and they say, yo, that intro was cold. Like, I know I always send my intros to Levy and Scouts because they fucking, like, I just like their reactions. They always say, like, yo, this is sick. Like, that always to me so cool. Or like when you're watching the video back and I send it to you and I can just hear you just fucking giggling over the fucking mic. That to me is like the best feeling, because one, my friends like the video, and two, it's worked, you know, like the effort I put in, the work, like someone's found it funny, right? That to me is the high. Like, the 5k is just the cherry on top. When I came back, I actually came back from Birmingham that day. I left the video, I went on a night out, I didn't even look at the YouTube until like 2 days after, and I just saw 2K views. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I just remember thinking like, what the fuck is this? And I just remember having like the biggest grin on my face because like it happened, you know, like all those times I made videos and like they didn't do well. I finally like it kind of was like a validation for me saying, oh bro, you can do this. What you're doing works. It like there is something there. Like keep going at it, if you know what I mean. And it was more motivation than it was like a high, I would say. It was just like keep going and keep doing at it because that's definitely one thing I kind of struggle with is motivation to do things, especially as a content creator.
Yeah, the reaction of people is definitely a high, I think.
Yeah.
Especially your friends, because you're like, you know, you've taken however many hours you've done to make something and then you're showing them and then you can actively see that they're liking it. You know, it makes you feel good because you're like, well, you know, I'm doing something right. And most of your friends will tell you if it's not good or, like, for example, I know Crimp, for example, would definitely tell you if something was not good or she thinks this should be cut here or she doesn't really like the way that was edited. Like, she'll tell you because, you know, she's not just
it's like it's a weird analogy, but like, you know, when you like my analogy of it is like, if let's say you bake your friend a cake or like you're giving them a present and they unwrap it and then they just see, oh yo, this is sick. That's what video creation for me is. It's like I don't want it to sound like really like cringy or like, I don't know, weird, but it's like I'm giving you guys like a gift or a present and I'm just saying, yo guys, look at what I made, like what do you think? And when you guys say, yo, this is jokes or this is funny, like I just, this is the best feeling. I honestly,
you love it, yeah.
Cringe. Yeah, I love it, mate.
You love it. Okay, so the next question, I suppose it's sort of like similar to the last question a little bit, but like, what do you enjoy? And I'm sure you said this a bit before as well, but I'll just expand on it. What do you enjoy / dislike the most about editing a piece of content? So obviously you saying about you do the grind videos and stuff. That all ties into like not just gaming, you know, like just editing a video in general.
Yeah.
Like, so start with what you like the most.
I think the thing I like the most is one, at the end, the reactions that I get from it and, you know, the gratification from that, but also if like, this is why I do the grind videos. A lot of the things I want to do with the grind videos, there is no YouTube tutorial for it. I have to sit down and just fucking be like, okay, how do I do this? And just sit there and spend hours literally trying to do an effect that will only be in the video for 2 seconds, but I do it because it will look cool and I like the way it looks or whatever, right? That's why I do it. I think that problem solving is like the best bit of it. Like, give an example. I wanted to have a rapper's name come up, but you know when you boot up your PS2, that after like this the swirl of the fucking things and the cubes at the start, it like goes in and disappears and fades, and it comes up as PS2 by like morphs from blue. I wanted to do that, but with the rapper's name. Brother, I spent 4 hours trying to figure out how to do it, and it's still not perfect, but it looked sick, and I added it. To me, that was like, and it was cold. It was like, yo, this looks fucking sick. Even though I spent 4 hours, and the effect, I'm not joking, literally lasts 2 fucking seconds, that to me is something I really love doing. Or like, literally experimenting with effects, and, you know, stumbling on something like, yo, this looks sick. That's what I like doing. But more related to that gaming content, adding the jokes, adding the memes in, like watching back the thing and then having a little chuckle to myself, because obviously I find myself funny because I'm a massive fucking narcissist, is definitely like one of like the things I love, like just adding the shit jokes. It like when I first cut out myself with the green screen, like, because you know in the video I don't have a green screen, so I just cut out a white wallpaper in the background. I literally laughed for a good 5 minutes looking at how fucking shit it looked, but at the same time just like saying, this is perfect, this is so fucking perfect.
Yeah, like, sometimes it's bad, it's good, you know what I mean? Like it's quite bad, but it just makes it good because it's bad, if that even makes any sense.
Just the learning, I guess, and discovering shit is what I love about editing.
Yeah,
just knowing I can do that.
Yeah, finding out how to make something you want, like having an idea. Sometimes it's always hard to think of an idea you want to happen and actually getting that like into fruition and thinking, right, how do I actually do that? Like, I know what I want to do. Like, I remember an example of like a video I did when I wanted to have someone's name attached to a van and I could not figure out how to do it. I remember you helped me with it. It was like the keyframing of like making sure the...
Was it Steph's name to the white van?
No, it was Piku's. It was Piku's on the roundabout.
Piku's,
yeah. And I couldn't figure out how to make the name stick to the van, so when it flies over the roundabout, it's still stuck on the van. I remember it took me so long to figure that out, and then in the end, I just eventually gave in because it took you about 20 seconds, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
MK, by the way.
That's my editing career over then.
No,
but no, yeah, you're definitely right about taking however long it takes to do something, and it's always rewarding when you figure out what your idea is and making it into the video. Okay, now what about do you dislike the most?
Okay, firstly, this will be more towards me and less for others, but sometimes working with clients, brother, I'm not sending 20 iterations back, yeah. I can't do it. I don't want to do that, bruv. Alright, so just on a personal level, that's why I hate sometimes when they just keep wanting to, make small changes and shit. I hate that. On a more editing, on a personal level, cutting down footage, like I said earlier, and the structuring part, especially when it came to like VODs, because I used to like cut down my VODs that were like 6 hours long, and going back and watching it and like trying to find what could potentially be good content and how it's going to structure. It's the most monotonous and like mind-numbing thing, because you're literally listening to your own voice and you're just like, you're realizing how fucking boring you can be sometimes on stream as well and stuff. I hate that. That is really fucking annoying for me.
Yeah, just I think obviously I've never dealt with like people wanting stuff from me or like the other way around, but like I can imagine that's like very frustrating.
I can tell you now, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's like, bro, just take the fucking thing, innit? It's like,
I hate client work. I hate it.
Because you're charging.
There's a part of me that's kind of glad that I'm not freelance anymore, to be honest, because you get like such a variety of clients, and some of them don't understand how long it takes when they want changes. Like, they'll ask you for something that they think is a relatively easy change, when in reality it takes like the entire day to do something.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And then you have to export it like 1,000 times until you get it right, and it's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time, and it's so annoying.
Top tip.
It's go on, Diggle. Go on.
Top tip, right? If you want to, get a career that's not stable, doesn't give you, much like opportunities to grow. You want to constantly have uncertainty and fear and live life on the edge because you don't know where your next project's gonna come from. Be a freelancer. I'm telling you, ticks all the fucking boxes.
You know what I've seen though, actually, recently on like those freelance apps. I mean, Fiverr is one of them, but there's more other than Fiverr. But something that people do sometimes is they will limit how many deliverables you get.
Yeah.
So if you buy the first package, you get only two deliverables. So you get the final edit, and then you get only one chance to make changes to it. If you want any more changes, then you pay extra. And honestly, that is like the golden rule for freelance work. Do not let them charge you for like, or do not charge rather.
Yeah.
For changes.
100%.
Like, I made someone pay me 40 quid for an Instagram reel and then 50 quid. And the reason why I charge so much is, one, because the level of work and the complexity of it, but also my man just wanted changes on changes on changes. And I'm like, brother, like, allow it. So that's I guess a rule. Yeah, like Grim said, you have like a structure if you are going down the freelance route, but honest to God, if you want my honest advice, just don't fucking do that. Like, save yourself the suffering.
I think that ties back into what we were saying earlier about when I was explaining I didn't want someone to edit for me, because it goes through the mill of like your idea, it goes from my idea to then your idea to then they send it back to me, and then I might not like that idea, and then they have to change it, and it's just constant changing. Like, what I want change might take you 2 hours to do, and then you could send it back to me and I still might not like it, and then you've got to change it again. So it's just constant, just changing something that's so small. And like you said, and what Crimp said, you know, sometimes it just takes ages to do what they want you to do because they don't understand how it works. Whereas when you're doing it yourself, you know how long it takes, you know what you're doing, like how long what you've done to get to that point. And it's just easier because you know you're only letting yourself down really if you're changing it, or like you're only pissing yourself off if you're taking a certain amount of time to do it and then you change it, compared to someone doing it for you or you doing it for them and then not liking it or you not liking it, and then you have to go through the hassle of changing a certain thing, and it could just be a long.
Back into the second question, sorry, like what you said about is it important to you to know editing? If you truly want to put your ideas that are in here and you have like your ideas that you believe in, then yes, learn how to edit, get involved in that process, because I reassure you, and I hope Crimp can back me on this, you could get the best editor in the world, but they will not be able to translate what's up there as well as you could potentially if you learn how to edit and get that skill set. And the reason why I say that is because editing is a skill. It's something anybody can pick up if you put the time and energy and dedication to it. And if you truly care about your idea and you want it to be exactly how you want it in your head, like obviously you do, Wardy, then by all means learn how to edit, like to a deeper level, and you know, learn that skill. Because I mean, I can try my best, Wardy, but I can't, you know, put exactly, and it happens all the time, especially in the music side of things, I can't visually put down what the artist has in their head because it's just too ambitious. But they don't understand that because they don't know how to edit, right? I get artists ask me kind of crazy things like, can you CGI this in? And I'm like, bro, I'm a solo editor, not fucking Marvel Studios. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just that's what I'd probably say.
Well, see, that's the thing. If someone is asking you for something that's specific, then they should really just edit it themselves at that point. Because there are two reasons why you get an editor. The one reason is because you don't have enough time to edit yourself, and if that's the case, then you also won't have enough time to give feedback as specific as that. Unless you are paying for those changes or like extra days of that editor's work. And then the second reason you would get an editor is because you actually want your videos to be in the style of that editor, in which case your feedback will not do it as much justice as you think. So really, like, as a client or as a content creator, if you are hiring an editor, you need to understand whether you're hiring them because you have no time to edit or because you like their style of editing. And if you like their style of editing, then please, for the love of God, let them edit. For the love of God, just let them edit.
I mean, that's I think that's the first point you need to get into, though. Like, with even if you're hiring an editor or you want someone to edit a video, you have to like their style of editing. Otherwise, your video is not going to be what you want it to be. It just isn't. They won't be able to do what you want them to do, or they might think that, you know, I don't know how many times you've had a deal where someone's like, I want this, and you're like, this looks so bad, but this is what they want, so I just have to do it for them. Like,
publicly, I cannot confirm or deny that I've done that.
Okay, well, you have to, you know, you have to sort of have that idea in your head of someone you want to essentially, you know, make your video better than what you could make it, basically, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But I think some people just genuinely don't care. They just do it for, you know, the simplicity of it and the quickness, and, you know, not doing it yourself, because it does take up ages. It does take a very, very long time to edit videos. That's just the way editing is. Like, you can't. There's no way to slow it down. Like,
also, if you want someone to edit your video and my man turns around and gives you a price like, oh, it's £100 for 10 minutes, don't act shocked, because there's a reason why you're getting people to do that for you, bruv. Like, I've had a lot of times where I've said my prices and people go, oh, that's a bit steep, and I'm like, well, then do it yourself. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, don't moan about the prices if you're not willing to commit and do it yourself.
You know,
and this is one of the things in gaming as well that I'll tell you, because I went through a good you like potential clients in the esports scene, and
drama.
Not one of them was happy with my rates. There wasn't a single one that was happy with my rates. But the thing is, I've been an editor for 8 to 9 years now. There's like, I'm not going to lower my rates just to work in esports on editing. Not the way that they treat you, because they will make you work and they will make you go through hours worth of footage and not actually realize how much work goes into it. It is quite possibly one of the most soul-draining things you could do.
Genuinely. And low-key, it's kind of happy that I'm happy with the way things have worked out with me personally, and I'm not fucking involved with Twitch or editing as my main job, because fuck me, like, in my opinion, editors are not fucking given the credit or respect that they should be given.
Yeah, definitely.
They really fucking are.
Definitely.
But you know what? Like, I partly blame that on the Fiverr editors. I'll be honest. Because the Fiverr editors, they will do it for fucking, like, one video, pennies. £20. That's, like, what kind of a standard is that? And then people think that they can say that to anyone. Like, they'll get any editor and be like, yeah, I'll give you £20 for this video. No.
It's the exact same as GFX artists, I think. It just sort of like makes the people that are actually GFX artists and do actually want to help people and, like, you know, get their name out there. It makes them look like, oh, it's just another GFX artist. I couldn't care less what you care, like, say, basically. And then that's why people get, like, stressy about the rates, and, like, what you're saying about video editing is because people like that and people that charge way, way less expect the exact same quality or better, but don't want to pay the price for how much time or effort it's going to take you to do it.
But the reason why as well, like what Crimp was saying for the Fiverr thingy, most of the time, like, these editors are from countries that aren't, you know, Western countries. They're from, you know, economies that aren't as strong as ours, and their currencies aren't as strong. So for a good example is, you know, India, where it's quite a chunk of editors, and Pakistan are. Like, we'll take India for example. I've just, like, looked at on Google. $20 is 1,671 rupees. And if you look, and I just did a quick Google search, a McDonald's meal or a combo meal is 350 rupees in India, right? So you can probably guess roughly, like, bro, one video actually pays quite a nice healthy amount for someone in India, you know, $20. But here it's fuck all.
It's difficult for, I think, also streamers to understand why people are charging that price as well, because if you've never experienced, you know, buying a thumbnail or getting someone to edit a video, you're never going to understand why someone is charging you that price. Like, but there's also a point of, you don't want to make yourself out like a dickhead when you're buying it off someone, because, like, you know the rough going rate of what you're trying to do and what you want. So then if it's a lot higher, you're going, okay, well, why are you so much better than this person and you're charging nearly double that price? Obviously, I'm not going to say who. There was one person that was going to make a poster for us once, and he wanted, like, I think it was like £60. And I was just like, that is just ridiculous. Like, for a poster. That's just a poster that I'm just going to post. Like, I'm just not realistically going to pay that. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, no disrespect to him, that's just his rate. Like, you know, that's what he must get customers with, and that's the way he deals with things. I'm not going to go to him and shit talk him and be like, what the fuck? Why is this your price? Blah, 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 blah. That's just the way it is. Some people have different pricings to what they feel their work requires, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's also to do with how people perceive. I mean, even yourself, like, oh, 60 quid for a poster that I'm only just gonna post. Like, even that perception itself is, like, can play into a little bit of the problem. Like, when people ask me, oh, people make me a banner, make me this sometimes. You know, and to be fair, in the Twitch side of things, people haven't really complained. Actually, I haven't got a single complaint. It's more with the music side of things. But it's like any other business, you know. If a business says, you know, we're gonna charge X, like my mechanic, bruv. You go to you have an Audi, you go to the Audi approved fucking dealer, he's gonna charge you up at the fucking arsehole. You go to my uncle, he'll charge you 20 quid and he'll fucking sort it for you, bruv. You know what I mean? Do you go to my uncle who's not a mechanic, or any proven experience. He just claims to know what he's doing, and you just fucking pray to God every time you step in that fucking vehicle next time. Do you go spend 10 quid, or do you actually go to the Audi blokes who probably know what they're talking about, considering it's their car, and just pay that premium? That's your decision as a consumer, and you don't have to whatever, but there's a reason why the prices are that price. And if it is too expensive, that creator or editor or whatever will find out when he doesn't get, or she, or they won't get customers. Like, that's the way it is. But it does annoy me sometimes when someone goes, "Oh, that's a bit," it's like, all right then, like, don't buy my shit.
I think it's more the case of when you're like starting out, or when you're eventually getting into doing that, and then you ask people about it, it's sort of like a shock, as in like you didn't think it's gonna be that expensive, but that's just the going rate because you don't know how much it is in general. Like you're just thinking of a rough number in your head of what you think it might be, and then when it doesn't meet that number, you're like, okay, well, what the hell? And then obviously the more people you talk to, the more you realize, no, this is like the standard rate, or it might be a tad higher or a bit lower, but generally most people will charge the exact same for their video or like a thumbnail. The majority of people would charge the same pricing. I feel like people that do videos and thumbnails for like bigger people can charge a bit more because they can use that like their portfolio to help them. Like, oh, I've done editing for Noco, I've done editing for Tifa Jesse, I've done editing for whoever it is. Like, you can sort of use that as, look, this is the video that I've made, this is it right here, this is how many views it's got, that's why you're paying me that amount of money to do your video, and you're nowhere near that like level of growth they've had or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I think they charge more.
A good example of this, it's funny you brought up that clip, always tells me is just change your clientele. I mean, a maid who cleans a house of mine like yours would get paid a lot less than a maid who cleans a mansion. Still doing the same thing, but it's clientele, I guess, right? So
yeah,
that also plays like a big factor into like who you're editing for. Like, if it's a bigger person, then naturally people would tend to charge a lot more because they know that that person's going to pay the price, and whatever. I mean, I sorry that I keep relating all my analogies to cars, but like Lamborghini is like basically a VW because it's owned by VW and it has VW parts. But if you go to a Lamborghini dealer to fix a Lamborghini, hypothetically, they'll charge you like £3,000, but then people find that same part for like 50 quid online. Like,
yeah. What's the next one? Give me 2 seconds. How do you feel your edits differ from any other content creators? So obviously you've probably said this a little bit, but what do you think?
Well, firstly, it's because it's me. No, I'm joking. The thing that makes my edits differ, I'm going to answer this in like a 2-part question. So, firstly, gaming stuff. In my gaming content, I put my personality first a lot of the times. So that's where it differs. We're all different people, so obviously, naturally, that's where my videos are going to differ a little bit. But also in the sense that my influencers as well. I mentioned before, bruv, I've been watching YouTube since Quay, like 2011. I've seen so many different styles of videos pop off and on. The early gaming content, which would never fucking do well in today's climate, the Allies, the Woody Gamer Tag, the fucking Wings of Redemption. I'm talking that old, and if you know those names, then fucking props to you, you're fucking old head, innit? But like, I've seen them, I've seen people like Filthy Frank, fucking iDubbbz, fucking Max Mofo, fucking Takeoff, and them man there. I've fucking seen your Codicos, your Noel Millers, I've seen your Just Rains, I've seen like Leafy's here, Pyrocynical. All these people have had an immense influence on how I perceive internet culture, how I consume YouTube, and also how I tell my jokes within my YouTube videos. Like, and then furthermore, I love watching video essays on YouTube. That's where the polished aspect comes from. Not only my media degree, but also the fact that I watch video essays which are so well edited in my intros. So that's where that influence comes from. My influence for standing up in front of the camera comes from Just Rain and all those like comedy kind of things. My influence for the editing of, you know, making it look like shit with the fucking fake green screen and, you know, the shit memes that I had in of me like cropping myself out terribly into like a stock PNG photo of a truck crashing comes from people like Filthy Frank, Pirates and all that stuff. It's all those influences and all those previous experiences and all that YouTube that I've consumed throughout the fucking over a decade. I've been watching it, all plays back into how I make my videos. That's what makes it different. It's all those experiences, you know, in my opinion. But with the music side of things, sorry to cut you off.
No, go on.
With my music, it comes down to inspirations. I love fucking it. Like it's a bit like getting off topic, but I'll say it quickly. Like A$AP Rocky, Tyler, the Creator, Kanye West, all them people. They've had an influence on my style, and funnily enough, I actually incorporate gaming into my fucking thing. Like, I always go back to the PS2 for some reason. I not even for some reason. That's like one of my first consoles, the N64 PS2. I always go back to it in my editing style. Heavily influenced like the retro, the VHS style, the fucking distorted like kind of effects that I use. It all comes down to influence. That's all it is really, and that's what makes my edits different. I put my, don't want to sound a bit cliche, but kind of my soul, like my own personal experience into my edits. It shows. Like if you know any of those people that I've mentioned, you'll see it. Like you probably didn't see it, but now that I mention it and you go back and watch my videos, you'll see that. Like, oh right, yeah, no, I see what Eagle means by he was influenced by this person. I genuinely put that into my videos.
It's like small pieces from everyone, isn't it? Like a small piece from, regardless of if it's even just a video, like you said about Kanye West and etc. Like just using them as an example to be like, okay, this is how I'm going to use this video. What I'm going to use in their video, in mine, or the way they've done that, or even the way they tell a joke, or whatever it is. Like you just take, you know, a small piece from everything you've been influenced with, and then you make it your own, right? In somewhat of way.
It's a way I look at things. Virgil Abloh, one of the greatest designers, of recent history, Off-White, Nike, all that shit, bro. He had a rule. It's a 3% rule. Take something that already exists, add 3% new to it. And it worked for him, making shoes and clothes. And you can apply that to anything in life. I'll be real. Everything I do is a concept that's already been done. Standing in front of a camera and making jokes, before that was on YouTube, that was known as stand-up.
Yeah.
That's an old concept. Nothing truly in this day and age, I don't want to say nothing. A very small portion of things that you see are like organic and original and the first. And that's the cutting edge, right? Very few things. The real creativity comes from how can I take something that already exists and make it different, and how do I make it new? I do that with my personality and with the style of editing that I mentioned and all those influences I mentioned previously. Any content creator should ask themselves that question. Especially, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to fucking hound Apex creators. Please, just fucking do something different, man. Just, you know what I mean? We've seen it, man. We've seen the tips and tricks. We've seen the blah, 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 blah. Let's try and branch away from it, man. Because when I see Apex content, and I see that, like, you can't tell who's from who, man. You can't. If you literally make a robot play like an AI voice do the script of a video and remove the person's face, you won't be able to tell whether it's like a X person's video to a Y person video. Why? Because they kind of just do the same thing, and it's not flaming them. It's just the way it's kind of worked out, unfortunately. And I mentioned previously as to the fact that the game's been out for 21 seasons. There's only so much new
stuff you can make
about, right?
Yeah.
But I'd argue that's where the real creativity lies, man. And that's what I'm trying to do with my videos, bro. And I'm not saying I'm doing them well either. It's a learning process. Like, just because one kind of bang doesn't mean I'm in any position to talk shit. I'm not. I'm just critiquing the overall landscape. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. That 3% rule, I mean, is pretty, like, you know, it's a good way of thinking about it. And like you said earlier about, you know, you want someone to know that that's a Deagle edit. the more you do that, and the more you like incorporate different things in, and like, you know, but still keeping the core like aspect of what you want your video to be about, or the way it needs to be edited, people will then go, oh, okay, like, you know, I can understand this is his sort of like niche of editing, or his video style, or cutting style. You know what I mean? It's
100%.
It's the way to go about it, I think, because then that's when you go, okay, now I'm this person, and they know what to expect every time they watch my video. Like, for example, your videos, everyone knows that when they come now, they're going to get a very good intro, or like just an intro you've spent a long time on, regardless of what the video is or like what it's about. You know, that's your like catch.
And everyone says it, like any motivational fucking YouTube video you'll watch, right? Bodybuilding, a fucking artist, whatever the fuck, right? You see them at the start, dog shit. You see my first video that I uploaded, donkey dick, bruv. But it's a process. You'll get there, trust me. If I can get there to a point where I'm competent with editing software like After Effects and fucking Premiere Pro, and I'm the biggest fucking idiot that I probably know, I'm sure as hell anybody in chat or watching this can, because it's like I said, it's a skill. It's a skill that you can pick up and learn. You just gotta fucking dedicate yourself to it, man.
Yeah, take your time. Okay, moving on. What is the best video you've made, and was it received well? So like that's in your opinion. So I suppose that's sort of too, like, what's the best video you've sort of made, like you think you've made, and then what was the best video you have made? Do you know what I mean? In your opinion.
So the best video I've made was that is Apex back statistically. That did the most numbers. It doubled my subscriber count. Hand on heart, is it the best video I made now? And the reason why I say that is because looking back at that video, the intro was great. I love the intro, and I wouldn't change anything about it the way I've done it now. It's more necessary to do with the part afterwards. I thought, looking back at it, I genuinely thought, this is quite bad. I don't think this video is going to be good. And then when everyone watched it, they came back and said, your intro was sick. That's what a lot of people said. But people also, I was so surprised people actually, firstly, listened to me fucking do that, because I genuinely thought people would click off after the intro. Real talk. I thought, oh, they'll see my face, they'll maybe listen to me for 30 seconds, find me boring, click off. People actually watched the whole thing and they said, oh, I found it really funny that you did X, Y, Z and you did this. Like, that to me was kind of amazing. I would do things completely different in that video. Like, for me, I felt like I waffled quite a bit, but also I would kind of change up the pacing, add a bit more editing to it to make it more polished instead of me standing in front of gameplay in the background. I thought that was a bit lazy. That's what it was. It was lazy. And you know that because when I posted the video, I said to you, I literally said, I can't be fucked with this anymore. I'm just gonna upload it.
Just gonna upload it, yeah. But sometimes, you know, that's how the videos do well. Like when you least expect them to do well, and also it's all to do with, you know, like the what's the way to say it? Sort of like the time frame of the video in terms of like your retention. So like your intro is gonna have a lot of retention. Then you need to like make everyone as interested, not dip down and like fall off a cliff. Do you know what I mean? You want them to sort of like. Your retention is always going to go down. Like that's just the way it is. It's always, you'll never have a video where your retention is just going to stay the same or go up, because it's just impossible, because people just click off videos all the time, like, or like they will just have a phone call or whatever happens to them, like they'll click on the video, and they'll come back and watch it later. Like that all counts to do with, you know, they've clicked off the video, like that all counts towards it. And go on.
Yes. To quickly answer like what I think my best video is, my most recent one, and the reason why I say that is because the things that I hated about, well, not hated, the things that I thought were my weaknesses in my last video, I built upon them. I was consistently adding jokes and editing the video throughout it. Like even with your interview, with Daz's interview towards the end, there was a level of consistency that wasn't in the last video. Of course, it didn't do the same numbers, and it didn't blow up or whatever. So statistically, it's not my best video, but in that same vein, it's still the second best video on my channel, and it's the second video I've done in this format compared to everything else I've uploaded.
Yeah.
So to me, it shows that, hold on, even though it didn't get 1,000 views, it still got the most views, second most views on your channel, and it's the same style of edit as your most viewed. You're onto something. You're doing something right. And I've built upon the foundations that I kind of put on or built with my first video. So where do I go from there? What went wrong in this video? What I didn't like about this video was that it wasn't very not structured. It wasn't scripted. I was riffing, and that meant I had a lot of footage to cut down. And there's a lot of waffle, and the message kind of got lost a little bit, I felt. So next video, script it a little better, and then slowly but surely. And my rule of thumb is your next video should be your best video, because it should be an improvement on what you did last time. Not all the time, obviously, but there should be a consistent trend of progress.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's, but I do think that's also not always down to views, as in,
no,
like what you said about you think your most recent video is the best, but it hadn't outperformed the one before that.
Yeah.
The first video could always be like the breakthrough of, you know, this is now like how I'm going to edit my videos, and this is my idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just normally it's the next video is never going to hit as hard, because it's, you know, okay, we've already seen that slightly, but like we now want you to grow on this. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, I guess it's, obviously I don't know fully, but I guess it's sort of like a way of YouTube telling you, right, this video has done really well. Like you said, you now need to like grow on this and keep doing that, because it's gonna do well, because you've had that video that's done pretty well. But that is obviously hard to take sometimes, because, you know, in your head you always want to make your next video better than the first one, and sometimes it can take a lot longer, and you have different ideas, and it might take you X amount of time. Like, that doesn't always correlate again to how well it's gonna do and what you're gonna do with it, and how your retention is, and etc, etc, etc.
I'd also say don't let it get to your head. I haven't uploaded. It's going to affect my views. Because before that 5K video, I hadn't uploaded for 4 months. Between this video and the newest one, I hadn't uploaded in 2 months. And it still, for my channel, did well. Good content, thought out content, with the correct thumbnail, with a good title to get viewers, it will still do well. Obviously, don't go disappear for a year, innit? But don't let that overthinking, for me personally, from experience, don't let that creep into your head. Just trust the process. If you need 2 months on a video, take the 2 months. If you need that time, trust me, you'll thank yourself later on down the road. Then you will, after rushing it and uploading it.
Yeah,
because
just randomly uploading. Yeah.
It won't do you any favors. You won't learn anything from it. Genuinely, if you think you need that time for it, just take that time.
But that's why I feel like consistency on them apps is good, because the more you post, the more, like, if a video does do well, it's gonna attract people to your page. Like, I know for me personally, I've started consistently uploading on TikTok. I think I've uploaded like every day for like 2 months now, and I've had like a few videos get over like 10k views. And then I have, when I upload now, I still have videos that still have likes on old videos I've uploaded like a month ago, that are still gaining views, because of just, you know, people seeing my page through that post, and then them getting recommended to another post, and then another post, and then another post. Obviously, that's a lot different with long form, because it's going to take you a lot of time, and you will not be able to bang out 7 days of long form content. It's just not going to happen, because you need time to record, it, relax, obviously a little bit, then edit it, then upload it, render it, edit it, that all takes ages. Whereas TikTok, you can make 10 TikToks in like 15 minutes. Like, it's, you know, it's quick. It's not like it takes ages. And then you can schedule them.
That's why I stopped making them. I just couldn't keep, and like I said, I applaud you for doing it for 2 months straight. I fucking couldn't keep up with that. To me, it's just another form of a rat race that I have to upload a TikTok every day. Like, what really hit me as well is when I saw this, ironically, a TikTok or a YouTube short, I forgot what it was, of Roadshaw. He said, the moment where I realized like shorts are just bullshit is when I got off it and I asked myself, do I even remember what the last 5 TikToks I watched were? And he said no. And I asked myself the question. I was like, do I remember the? No, I don't. And I was just like, so then, what's like that? And I'm not saying it doesn't have a purpose. It clearly does, and it's clearly helping people grow. There's the definite need if you want to get into content creation to look and explore TikTok. Not saying that all. For me personally, considering I'm someone who puts a lot of time into his editing for impact, why would I spend time on a platform which, in my opinion, doesn't leave the viewer with the level of impact my YouTube videos?
Yeah.
I just, for me, I can't do it. And plus, editing like that every day, TikTok, just pumping it like a machine. It's just not for me. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to like have a lot of socials do really well.
Yeah.
As in, like, when I see someone that's like, you know, they're big on Twitch, and I go, okay, but that makes sense. They've got like 50k followers, and they're averaging like 100. Okay, so now what? Then I go to the Instagram, and they've got 60k. I go to their YouTube, they've got 15k, or whatever it is. And I go, okay, and then I go to their Twitter, and they've got like 10k followers, and I'm like, okay, right, now this is someone who's like obviously worked on a craft, because not everyone is going to follow you just because they follow you on Twitter, or they follow on YouTube, or they follow you on Twitch. You know, there's so many different like avenues of. I'm sure there's people that follow you on Twitch that don't follow you on YouTube, same as me, TikTok, 100%. Twitter. Like, it's just, you know.
And that's if you do, you're a fucking fraud.
You're
a fraud.
Yeah, let them know.
If you don't follow me on Twitch and you're subscribed to me, or you're vice versa, you're fucking fraud.
But no, it's true. Like, you know, that's why you have, for example, people that do really well on YouTube. Sometimes they don't like even go over to Twitch because they're like, you know, I don't like watching people live. Like,
yeah. 100%.
And when I first started watching, I used to just watch YouTubers. I didn't used to watch Twitch. I never used to watch Twitch ever. And then obviously I got into it, and then I realized, and I was like, okay, and this is how people like are sustainable. They live stream it, which is like them recording, but like they're doing it live so they can make, you know, a sort of income and, you know, interaction through that. And then they can steer it to like another platform, and then that platform can steer it to another platform, you know, and then you just have loads of different avenues of like being able to find, like, it's just putting yourself out there on loads of different like platforms just to have exposure, you know, not just sticking to like one core social and then going, right, I'm going to expand from here, because it's going to be a lot harder than having like 4 or 5 different socials that are posting stuff out and whatnot.
You got to also understand, people consume content a lot different. Like every social media, it's not like there are your tools. Like, yeah, look at them as tools. Like, as I said again, like Twitch is so good for interacting with people, and so good for developing a community and like actually making connection with your fucking, you know, audience and stuff. Super good at that. Complete dog shit clips and all that stuff. Like, it's not good at that, and it's not good for engagement or like visibility as a streamer. You're literally gonna, if you have one viewer, you'll be at the bottom. It's not good for that. And likewise, you know, TikTok live, even though it has a live feature, do I say it's as good as Twitch? I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. But TikTok has its own unique benefit of making short form content, and because it's so popular, you're becoming a lot more visible to a much broader audience. It's good for outreach. You know, YouTube's much better for long form content and actually demonstrating that you can make like proper videos. You know, and like my IRL mate that I've known from school doesn't watch my streams, but he watches my YouTube videos because he that's what he does. He likes watching YouTube videos, so he'll watch mine, but he won't come into my stream because he could give 2 fucks about what a Twitch stream is, right? It's understanding different platforms will attract different viewers because they are on there for a specific reason, right?
Yeah. I think Twitch, some people some people just like the live interaction, didn't they? And like the live sort of, you know, you know it's happening right now, whereas like a YouTube video could have taken you like however many days, months to make, and then that's just that. Like, you don't really get to see someone's personality on a YouTube video because it's hard, because it's just the you know, the amount of, no matter how many times you watch it, it's going to be the same video, like the same jokes, the same personality. Like, whereas a live stream is completely different, because, you know, people get put in different situations and different things happen, and you can sort of judge the sort of character of the person, you know, which is, like you said, that's just how people like watching stuff. Like, some people would probably only like watching TikToks, they don't like watching YouTube videos, they don't like watching Twitch. I mean, probably isn't many people out there that would say they'd like watching Instagram Reels, but there probably is someone out there. I don't know.
I can't lie. I'll keep it real. I like watching Instagram Reels. I can't lie. What I found, is that TikTok, produces all the dog shit, right? But all the good stuff gets filtered down onto Instagram Reels because only the good stuff does well on Instagram. That's what I've noticed personally.
Okay.
But Instagram Reels, trust me, it's goated. It's goated. Hot take, by the way.
Fair enough. Fair dues. I mean, I haven't seen progress from Instagram Reels, but my account is fairly new, so I can only judge what I see. Yeah, it is, yeah. But I do see videos on there that bang on Instagram, and I'm like holy crap. Like, especially as Instagram is predominantly just like, a place where you just see photos. Because that's pretty much what it is, no? It's just, a photos or... It's basically like just a little small like page where you show like your life pretty much. So like how would a gaming reel do so well on there when it's a completely different feature to like just having it on the main page? You know what I mean? It's not, Instagram wasn't solely made for reels. It was made for showing your lives and yeah, exactly.
But I mean, when I said reels are sick, I didn't mean in gaming content. I mean like just memes or like funny videos that I just like to watch like outside of gaming content. But yeah, I agree with you. Like gaming content like doesn't do too well on Instagram because that's not for you. When you post on Instagram, I post my fits, I post my face sometimes, and I post me, right? I don't post gaming content on there because it's not even kind of what that platform initially was made for. It's like you don't even fucking like gaming content on Facebook. I don't even know that whole scene because I don't even fucking have a Facebook.
I mean,
who uses Facebook, bro? Like my mum uses Facebook. Like she doesn't even have a Facebook, but she'll show me like next bullshit herbal remedy from Facebook. Oh, Deagle, like this will cure like your shoulder pain from your injury, and it's like fucking ginger mixed with like fucking Sprite or some shit, and it's like, mum, that's bollocks. Like, come on now, like. Old people use Facebook. You wouldn't want to put gaming content.
But some people stream on Facebook, so just one thing. That's just it's crazy that like the you can even do stuff like that now. Like obviously a few years ago it was just predominantly just Twitch and that was it. But now you can you got fucking you can go live on Instagram. You can go live on TikTok. Obviously Twitch. Remember Mixer as well. That was a streaming platform. No. Obviously Kick now, like you've got like a lot of like different avenues of where you want to go and where you can go live now, which is it's weird. Like it's mad. It's mad that you can do that.
Go live on Kick. I pray for you, man.
What was the next question? I think have I asked you this already, or I suppose this.
I've kind of
I mean, you sort of answered it a little bit, but I mean, I'll ask you again, but just summarize it quickly. Like, what inspires you the most when working on a project?
What inspires me is the people that have come before me. That's cringe and like corny as that sounds. Is that I want to be a part of like that kind of thing of like, hey man, I used to make videos, or like when I old like I was a part of this culture. I was doing this because it was shaped my childhood, watching gaming videos, watching all these funny videos. Everyone in like most of the people that hung around in school all watched YouTube. We all watched gaming videos, to a degree. Everyone was influenced by it at some point, and the fact that I could turn around and say, hey, I still do it and I'm the only one doing it, that's what inspires me to like, actually make the videos. And I've spoke about the inspirations that when it comes to my editing and stuff earlier, but yeah, that's what really makes me want to fucking do that shit.
Yeah,
to be honest.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, you said about it a little bit before that, so I guess that's just like a general summary. Right, now this is basically not to do with editing. This is just something you said you wanted to be put in the like in the questions. So it's sort of like a question leading on to that question. How important do you think breaks are? For example, like feeling burnt out, like overworking yourself.
As someone, okay, I need to stress this, like to anyone who's actually still like listening to me waffle. This is not waffle, I promise you, right? you have to take a break. Bro, I promise you, even though you think you could do something and there's something you can do, there's always something. There's always something, but you're not a robot. You're not AI. You're not fucking iRobot from that Will Smith film. You have to sleep. You have to go out and do other things, because if your life gets consumed by editing Twitch, TikTok, editing Twitch, TikTok, you will drive yourself fucking insane, because believe it or not, guys, humans actually weren't, you know, evolving over millions of years just so we can end up on a desk and serve an algorithm for social media. We weren't. It isn't, alright? So it's so fucking important to detach yourself from that world, detach yourself from that work that you are putting, and have that break. Have that time to yourself every day to do something different. As cringe as it sounds, touching grass sometimes even, bro. Having those connections outside of Twitch and whatnot, bro. Because I got to a point where, and speaking personally, that I would just be in a cycle of being burnt out, come back, burnt out again, come back, burnt out again. Because I just wasn't managing my workload. And it only hit me when Crimp, who's not here right now, but Crimp said to me, Deagle, you are fucking editing music videos, you are fucking editing gaming content, you're streaming, you're fucking doing graphic design, and you're fucking I forgot what the other thing I was doing at the time. Of course you're fucking tired. That's all you do. And even Kamos would say to me, oh, what are you doing right now? Oh, I'm editing. She's like, what you do is stream and edit. I'm like, yeah, what else is there to do? I don't fucking do anything else, bro. I didn't even go gym. I was just fucking bang, edit, hit stream, go live. Okay, edit. We're not built to do that. You have to do shit outside. And right now I'm in a good routine. Obviously I'm fucking working and whatnot, but I wake up 5 in the morning. I go gym at 6. I come back, having that time outside of my house, doing that physical activity, so fucking good for the mental and so on, obviously for your body. Coming back, working, and then having that time dedicated to editing or streaming that I won't do for a while. But having that time, or that, like, finding time to do it now is so much more rewarding than having all day to do it, because there's always going to be something else you can do, and you're just going to get stuck in this vicious cycle of thinking, I'm not doing enough, I'm not seeing the growth, I'm not maximizing my potential, and it kind of low-key comes down to some of the culture that's been developing online recently of this fucking hustle grind mindset bullshit that we've been seeing. Like, there's, you know, you have to wake up, blah, 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 all this nonsense, bro. Trust me, if you take a break, it won't kill you. Like, people aren't just going to disappear. People aren't just going to forget who you are. They won't. They really won't. You know, that's not how people work. Like, you have to let yourself relax, because otherwise you will fucking go insane. And I'm speaking on experience.
I think it is. It can be difficult though, because where, like, people are so, like, myself included, you're so, like, heavy on numbers. Like, everything is numbers. How many viewers you've got at a time, how many people watch your video, how many people liked your video, how long the retention of the video was. Like, it's all just analytics going through your head. So when there's so many numbers on so many different platforms and it's not performing the way you want it to, you're like, well, I'm not just going to give up, I'm just going to keep doing it more. But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, crap, like, now I'm burnt out, like, now what do I do? Like, you just have to disconnect. You have to disconnect a little bit and just think, right, okay, now I'm just gonna, you know, live my own life, or, like, you know, do something in my actual life, rather than just chasing something that isn't, you know, it isn't there at the minute, but it will eventually be there if you have the right mindset to do it, you know?
100%. Like, it's not a constant grind.
No,
it's not. It's never a constant.
It's slow but steady.
Yeah, literally. Like, right now, my focus isn't on Twitch, and my focus isn't necessarily on content creation at all. It's just, actually, as sad as it may sound, is actually just trying to rebuild myself. Like, because shit happened, and I just kind of went into content creation and Twitch streaming and all this other stuff as a way to cope with that nonsense. But there's a limit of when it was productive and when it became destructive, and it was becoming quite destructive recently, where it was just a constant, I hate this, I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, I want to do this, I really like it. Oh no, I don't want to do it. Oh, I want to do it, I don't want to do it. Just this constant back and forth, it just got so fucking draining. And I just went to myself and like, all right, let's fucking take a breather for a second. Let's actually analyze what we're doing. And circumstances did change, obviously. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy at all, right? But obviously getting a job really helped me because it helped me obviously financially, all that stuff. Great. And I'm not saying it's fucking easy for anyone out there, because rest assured, I know the struggles of fucking trying to find a job after you graduate and stuff. But when you do find it, you'll find that you might hate what you do there, but then this becomes so much more precious because you love this, and you'll always come back to this, and you'll actually look forward to the little time, well, not little time, but whatever time you do have to do this, because it's now you don't have access to it 24/7. Whereas when you have access to it 24/7, you know, it too much of anything is bad for you.
Yeah,
you know, we all know that. So
just depends on how you work as well, I guess, innit? Like, you know, what you're saying. I think I'm sort of like that. Like, when you have less time to actually do something, it makes you want to do it more, because you're like, right, well, I've only got like 3 hours and I just want to bang out like my edit, or like just, you know, a stream or whatever it is. Whereas if you have it to access it constantly, you can sort of go, nah, well, I've got all day, I can do that later, or I can do that now, or I can, whatever you want to do.
As well, it comes back to what I said earlier about finding what works for you, because like I'm not gonna fucking beat around the bush. Like, my mentor is not the strongest. I don't have the fucking best mentor, right? But Wardy clearly has a very dedicated mindset, whereas I tend to fucking not. I don't want to say give up, because I haven't given up clearly, but I tend to get a bit disheartened a lot more than what Wardy does.
Yeah.
But it's again finding what works for me, and I found that having those long periods between videos and giving myself that time to edit and, you know, go do other things works for me. Whereas Wardy, he loves the fucking 5 days a week streams, and it works for him, innit?
Yeah.
So find out what works for you, but don't let yourself get caught up in the grind hustle mindset for the sake of it, because you're not serving anyone other than a fucking algorithm on TikTok or YouTube or whatever.
Everyone is completely different though. Like, yeah, everyone, you know, just regardless of like how much you post or, you know, how much you stream, like not everyone can do that. Like, you know, I know some people that stream 7 days a week, and I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, when I get to the weekend, I'm like, right, okay. Like, obviously I'm doing stuff for stream and like doing stuff for other socials. Like, I'm never like just sitting there resting, which is another reason about burnout, which I'll say about is it's so hard to like disconnect yourself from being online and doing stuff for stream and like for your content when you're away from doing it, if that makes sense.
100%.
As in, like, my weekend, like, you know, I'll do like what I'll normally do, like on my weekend, like watch the football, or like relax, go out, go for a walk, or whatever I'm doing. But the majority of the time, I am thinking about what I'm gonna do to better like myself online. So it's sort of just like a constant, which is why I think a lot of people give up with content creation, because it isn't just like I'm not gonna compare it to a job, but like some jobs where you just go in, you go home, you don't think about it until the next day. Then you go in, you know, do your work, go home. Whereas this is sort of like you're just constantly thinking about it. Like, if you want it, or like you want to make it, or like want to pursue a career in it, you have to like be addicted to it. But addicted to a certain level where you're not gonna, you know, throw your whole like life away for it, you know?
Yeah, it's not healthy. It's not sustainable either.
But it's just it just takes over your like thinking, and just you want to like think of ideas, and it's, you know, constant like brain power.
Bro, like when I'm working today, right, in between my meetings, I was drafting for my fucking grind video.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just thinking of other stuff. Yeah,
I'm thinking of it. Like, I'm not actively working on it, because obviously I'm working, but in the back of my head, I'm like, well, and and if you have that, great, because that means you're actually fucking passionate about it and you love this shit. And that's what I gotta say. If you want to do anything in, whether it's pro Apex, content creation, music, and all these other things that don't have that certainty or clear career path, and you actually want to fucking do this shit, you have to love it and then some, because you cannot go into this kind of shit half-hearted, because trust me, you are in a world of fucking disappointment. Like streams, like the amount of one viewer streams I've had to hack where I've had to just talk into a microphone by myself for like 3 hours, man, like fucking hell, it's soul crushing, but I like doing it, so I persisted through it. I kept going.
It's getting through that mental block of like just talking to yourself. But even now, like even now you're like grown, or like, you know, you're like a smaller streamer, but you're still like not, you know, no one's like really like, I would say, like a medium to like bigger style streamer. You still get them times where no one's talking, and you just sort of have to 100%. Just wait and just like keep talking until someone talks, or just, you know, just like keep talking to the person who said it's last, or like just commentate on your gameplay or whatever it is. Like obviously it's difficult, which is why I think just chatting streamers, that is so difficult to just be a just chatting streamer, because as stupid as it sounds, as simple as it is, if no one's there to chat, you're literally just staring into a camera, and what are you talking about?
I can't lie.
Do you know what I mean? Like how do you, that's never gonna work. Like you're relying on people giving you feedback, like, and like having a conversation, you know.
I find that just chatting streams are something I love doing way more than like my last couple of streams have all been just chatting streams, and obviously I'm privileged enough in a position where I have people returning back and wanting to come interact with my stream, so you know, I'm thankful for that, and I'm able to do those just chatting streams. But I find that those just chatting streams just give me so much more interaction with my chat, bro. I shit you not, me, Clip, Citro, 4 other people, my just chatting stream, I fucking kid you not, I'm an Apex streamer, by the way, Apex content creator. We spoke about cars for 2 hours on a just chatting stream. I was so gassed I was able to do that.
It's because it's something away from gameplay, isn't it? Like, it's not just, you know, someone watching your gameplay and then going, you're just talking about what just happened, or like, you know, you just got a crazy play or whatever it is. Like, just chatting is just like combos. And then obviously, the more like it leads on and more people get into it, they're sort of like, okay, well, you know, I can get involved in this convo, and, you know, I can add something to it. And then someone else will jump in and go, oh, okay, what about this? And then, you know, it's just like having a big convo of your mates, basically. Obviously, depending on what you're talking about, like, topics can change, and, you know, people can get a bit upset about certain things you're talking about, or like they don't like the way you're talking. But I feel like just chatting, like streamers in general, is very hard for them to not grow, but like that's very difficult, because when you have something on the screen you can just like play off of, like a game or whatever you're doing, that's easy. You know, you don't have to talk constantly about the game. You have
to be good at waffling.
Yeah, but just chatting, you have to talk, because if you're not talking and you're sitting in front of a camera, it's just going to be so awkward. You're just going to be sitting there staring at the camera. No one's going to be talking. But some people might be watching, but they might not be talking, which is why I like lurkers and stuff when they watch games. It's easy because you just stick it on and, like, you know, you can just watch. Yeah. Like, I'm sure like a few people are lurking watching the podcast, but they're not going to talk because they're just listening. Like, they just want to listen to what we're saying. Like, probably not a lot of people want to listen to what we're both saying, but you get my point. Like, lurkers like a big part of it as well, especially with like, Twitch.
If you don't respect your lurkers as a streamer, and I'll say this with Chest, this is my opinion and mine only. I'll say this before Woody says anything. In my opinion, if you don't respect your lurkers as a streamer, you're a fucking S-tier dickhead on my life. These people give you a view, they lurk, they spend their CPU power on you by putting a tab up, right? And they rate you enough to fucking put a tab up for you, you fucking give them respect. So if you lurk a new person's stream, or if you have lurkers in your stream, you fucking respect those people, because they are the backbone of Twitch.
They are.
Hands down.
When people watch like that streamer that's lurking in your stream, you're more than likely going to get recommended because they're lurking in your stream, so they're sort of showing support to you without actively like sending messages or like subbing to you or whatever the interaction is in chat. So obviously that subliminally helps you, because, you know, they've just left a tab open on your stream, but they're not actively in your stream. And like you said, people have lives. Like, not everyone can sit here and watch someone play a game for like 5-6 hours a day. Like, that's just not like, people have got stuff to do. People have got stuff to do. Like,
low key, yeah. No offense. If you have the ability to do that, you are living an incredibly privileged life, or you need to sort it out, bro. Because like, come on now, watching someone play a game for 6 hours consistently all the time.
I mean, I don't think I've watched. I'd like to know what the longest stream that I've watched is, as in from
continuously.
From the very start when I tuned in to when I left, how long that was. I genuinely don't think it would be more than an hour. If I'm being dead honest, maybe 2. I mean, but besides, like, okay, that's probably a lie, actually. Besides, like, maybe ALGS, because obviously that's, like, you know, the games you sit there and watch. I just mean, like, an actual streamer that I'm sitting down to watch. I don't mean, like, an event like ALGS, because obviously 6 games is, like, what, 2 and a bit hours-ish, or, like, 3, depending on, like, how long it takes and whatnot. So, obviously, that's completely different, because I'm watching games. But I mean, like, an actual streamer that I'm sitting down to watch, I don't think I've sat there for longer than maybe, like, 2-ish hours, maybe. That would probably be the max, I'd say. Boy, I'm like dedicating my whole attention to them. Do you know what I mean?
Well, like, the only time I've done that is when I'm watching a pro, like, tournament.
Yeah.
You know, like ALGS or like the CS majors. That's the only time I see myself sitting down.
But that's like an event. That's what I'm saying. I just mean like an actual streamer who's just like, that's just your favorite streamer. They're just doing something like.
I just don't like people that much, to be honest.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you pretty much answered this, to be fair, but what things do you do outside of online to help with, like, burnout? So you said, like, the gym and...
Gym, chatting to my IRL friends, walks are fucking W, my mum humbling me constantly, bruv. Should I tell you a fun fact about my mum, yeah? My mum is my biggest hater, low-key. High-key, low-key, bruv. You know why? Because, bruv, unrelated, yeah. I wanted a dog when I was a kid, yeah. And I remember this story because it's so funny. This is, and I want to preface that this isn't traumatic or whatever. This is just funny, yeah. I said to my mum, Mum, I want a dog, yeah. And I remember she just turning around, yeah, having a shit grin on her face, yeah. And she said this to me in Punjabi, which made it even more funny. But she said, "We don't need a dog. You're more than enough." And she just turned around, and I was just like, oh. But like, yeah, my mum is so like, you know what I get it from? I get it from my mum and dad. Fucking banter. Like just shit like that. I just go talk to my mum, yeah, and it's just she's fucking jokes. I talk to my grandma. She's obviously my mum, but older and less fucks to give, so she's even more unhinged and shit, which is even funnier. But yeah, also like finding activities and shit you like doing outside. Like I love watching football, like you. I love F1. I'm gonna get back into kickboxing and stuff. Things like that, man. You need to find things outside of just Apex and
something different, yeah.
Bro, it's gonna get boring real quick. And of course, when I go out and fucking do the music stuff, even though, bro, I can't hack the nightlife anymore. I'm done after 2 a.m. But yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But yeah, I believe that is everything. So I'm gonna end the recording there. I appreciate you being here, Deagle, mate. Appreciate you coming along. But yeah, if you want to follow Deagle's all his YouTube, I mean, YouTube's your main focus now, right? So I'm guessing you just want, you know, I'll post your YouTube link because I feel like that's probably the best. But you do like you do your own like you have your own portfolio as well, no? Do you want to link that as well, or?
Bro, I'll keep it real. Don't fucking come to me for commissions.
Okay. And we're gonna end it there. Bye, guys.